Hello and welcome to Secret Sewing Club. It is February the 2nd and we've got 2 new guests today, so it's very, very exciting. But before we do that, I will do the admin. Secret Sewing Club works slightly differently to previous sewing, shopping channels and things that you've seen. You don't buy anything directly through the Secret Sewing Club. You do go to whichever supplier or whichever guy is demonstrating on here today, so you go directly to them. When they're doing their individual demonstrations, there will be a QR code up, their website will be along the bottom, so you'll be able to see everything that you need to get in touch with these guys and grab anything you need. So let's see who we've got today. Let's start straight above me. So Michelle.
Hi.
Hello. And you're a brand new one.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you fine.
Lovely. It's a little bit difficult here because I'm watching a stream that's slightly behind what I'm actually doing.
You're better off looking at the Ninja thing, because that will be real time. Don't look at Facebook
no problem
stream.
at all. I'll just ignore what I'm going to be then.
That will be a few seconds behind.
Hello, it's lovely to be here.
So what? Tell me about Sew Thimble Wood.
Okay, I run a little company. I started about 5 years ago, and we turn around. We do this sort of thing. We do kits and different products like this. My husband's playing around with the controls over there, so I don't know what you're seeing, to be absolutely honest with you.
Welcome to the Secret Sewing Club.
Yes, yeah, but we'll get there. It's our first time, and I must admit there's been a few teething troubles, but
we've sorted it though, haven't we?
So yeah, back to Thimble Wood. Started 5 years ago, and yeah, it's great fun. I design lots of little kits, little quirky things, fun things to make, things that don't take you too long to finish off. We're going to show you a few of those today.
Brilliant. And Natasha, who's beavering away next to you. She's back and forth.
Good morning. No, afternoon. I don't know whether I'm coming or going today. What day is it? Sunday. Hello. Welcome. So today we are going to launch brand new Tilda. Brand new Tilda. It's very, very beautiful. I've got some incredible deals for you. And we're just going to enjoy all that is Tilda this morning. That's what we've got for you. I
thought you had called it Sunday brunch based on the fact that you were coming on the Secret Sewing Club, which is always on a Sunday. But then I realised it's actually the thing. Actually called Sunday brunch. It's a beautiful thing, and it is stunning. It's really, really, really stunning. We have already sold out of one colourway, but I have got 3/4. I'll show you. But it's gorgeous. It's just love it. So if you're a Tilda fan, it's here. And Sasha, the lady who's had the busiest week.
Hi everyone, how are we all doing?
Well, us or people at home?
Well, everybody. Everybody. Well, I don't think that anybody's had as an exciting week as me, but they might have. Just a quick shout out to say thank you for the amazing amount of presents and cards you have sent to Amelia, and yes, he is here, baby Adley, and on the next one we will have an introduction just a bit soon at the moment. But yes, very, very tired Nonna is very tired, and Hayley was saying earlier on here, you don't have to stay whenever people are demoing, you can wander off, and I'm thinking, have you got time for a nap? We are in a new area. It's happened. It's done. All my Sunday evening followers will know what the plan was to move back downstairs. Chances are, if I go back upstairs, you're not going to see me again for the rest of the afternoon. So I will be staying here.
It's all right. We'll help you power through.
Coffee granules.
Get some coffee sent down. You'll be absolutely fine. Well, actually, you're up first in terms of demos today as well, aren't you?
Everyone's going to be shocked at that, aren't they? Everyone is going to be shocked.
As she said, she's had plenty of time to prepare.
Yeah, I've had plenty of time to prepare, and I'm going first, which is an absolute no for me. I never do that, do I? I always go last because I prefer to be after everybody else. But yeah,
right. Well,
yes, they're noticing. Sorry, I'm reading the Facebook comments for you as well. So we've had lots of
congratulations for you.
Yeah, and tea is all prepared and in the oven. Well, thank you. I will be looking forward to that, Jane, whatever our tea is, because that would be nice.
We'll be round later.
And yes, we are in the new craft room, new craft studio. It is a bit of a mess, and but we're in. So
right,
that's
well, I
good.
will switch it over to you and you can take it away.
Thank you. So how are we all doing, everybody? So strange things that happen at sort of like 3 o'clock this morning when I was babysitting, and I was thinking, what are we going to do today? Because obviously I don't plan that far ahead, as Hayley knows. What are we going to do today? And Amelia's not been very well after a section. And I told Hayley this. And they're using this bizarre sticky stuff to go on her scar. So I thought, oh, Lamifix. We haven't used Lamifix. It just looks like Lamifix. So if you haven't seen Lamifix before, basically Lamifix is a transparent film that you fuse on, as you can see, and you can put it on mug rugs, you can put it on dinner mats, you can put it on runners, you can pop it on all different sorts of things. And as you can see, it's a film. Now this is the gloss, so this is going to be a little bit shiny, and basically we're going to do a mug rug and we're going to apply Lamifix to it. I know that a lot of you
start, Sasha, Jane says it's lasagna and you're welcome.
Oh, that would, that would be lovely. I'll be expecting it about 5 before the live at 6, Jane.
Oh, so just in the gap between finishing here
just in the gap, yeah.
Right, got it.
Just in the
I'll
gap.
pass that on for you.
Oh, and Alexandra's having lasagna as well for tea. What is it? Sunday lasagna today. So what I have done on this little square is you will see some Lamifix that I have actually applied to this square, so you can actually see what I mean by glossy. So this is the glossy. They do a matte finish. I haven't got the matte. This is obviously the normal fabric, and what happens is when you put this on top, it sort of makes a waterproof covering. So if you're doing things like mug rugs, placemats, that sort of thing, you can basically wipe it really, really easily. Basically wipe clean. Really, really good. Really, really a fun, different thing to use, especially if you want to get the kids involved. And obviously I wanted to do some new mug rugs for this room, and obviously we are going to do some little llamas, little alpacas, and I'm going to be using the bumbleberries, which I've got in stock. Now I have been adding stuff to the website, and obviously this week it's been a bit of a slow burner. The Lamifix is on there. My later on demo that I'm going to do, we're going to look at go back to looking at strip rolls again, jelly rolls. And so you'll need to check out Hayley's range of amazing strip rolls on there, because we're going to be looking at rail fence. So what I wanted to try and do when I come on is maybe sort of do a different easy block each month that you can do using some of the fabrics, and then hopefully next time I sort of come on, we might have the new stuff. I think Hayley's beavering away in the background, working hard, bless her. On the new bits for
always
us.
Beavering.
Always beavering around. Please, could you use it on bags to make the cotton waterproof? Now, you can use it on the bags to make it waterproof. Things like waterproof coverings and things like that. What I like to use on bags and espadrilles, like shoes and that sort of thing, is use Eau-de Coat. Now, Eau-de Coat is a gel. I have got to get it online onto the website this week. Now, Eau-de Coat, I started taking that onto Hachanda back in those days with Empress Mills many, many years ago, and it went insane. There is a certain technique that you do need to use with Eau-de Coat, but maybe once I've got it on the website, we can look at that in the future. But Eau-de Coat is like a gel, and it means that you can actually prepare those fabrics when you are making a bag or making a rucksack or things like that, and then it just dries and it creates a splash proof seal. But today is Lamifix. So the differences with the Lamifix is Lamifix, I would say, is more for flatter items. So maybe you're doing something that is going to go underneath a plant pot, or yeah, things like that. I would prefer to use Lamifix on a flatter, because even though, yeah, I mean, it doesn't sort of crack, but you may get like a crease, as you can see if I just fold that. You may get like a slight crease, and you wouldn't want that in a bag. But you could use it for small pouches. You know those pouches that you pop in your handbag and pop all your makeup-y bits and pieces. So I would say anything bigger than a wash bag, I would use Lamifix. Anything smaller than a wash bag, you can get away with Lamifix.
Sasha,
as I say, they
got a question from YouTube. Can you sew through it once you put it on?
Yes, you can sew through it. The only thing with sewing through it is if you're going to quilt, you want to do the quilting before you pop this on, because what will happen is you're going to make holes, and then the holes is going to let the water in, and you don't want that. So that's what makes it waterproof, splash proof, those sort of things. So what you would need to do is, I always recommend that you quilt it first. A little bit of top stitching isn't going to matter, but a massive load of quilting or stitching is going to cause holes. Those holes are going to let the water in, as I say, and then it could lead to problems. So I would get your stitching done first. Does that make sense? Anything that doesn't make sense today because of sleep deprivation, please let Hayley know in the messages, and I'm sure she will translate for me. Absolutely fine. So the mug rug that we are going to be doing, I've got it at 8 inches by 5 inches. Now you can do this in any size. I just like a little bit of a mug rug that I can fit a biscuit on as well. Just being honest with you. Sorry if you hear, because I'm now in sort of like the extension, you might hear the tractor. Can you hear the tractor?
I heard that before, and I couldn't work out who it was coming from.
Yeah. So we've had a couple of questions on Facebook, so let me try and answer those a second. So I tried Lamifix on a bag and it didn't work. It was probably me. No, it was probably not you. As I was saying, Lamifix for a bag is great for a pouch, but I think it is better for flat items. Anything that you need, you know, that you're going to be folding or is a bit of a curvature to it, I would go with Lamifix. That's what I would say. Can you wash the items once it's covered? Yes, you can wash. You can either wipe clean or you can wash. No problem whatsoever. So, as I say, mug rugs, great little gifts. I think that they're really personal. They're really nice. It's just something a little bit, you know, a little bit quirky. And you know what I'm like with my alpacas. Now, I have got a little bit of, Bosal heat protective, I can't even remember the name, polytherm, that's the one, on this one, and I've just cut it to size. So again, that's perfect for there. And I then have some bumbleberries, which we all love our bumbleberries. I'm not going to do too much quilting on this because I want you to be able to see how to apply. It's more important that you get to see the application technique of it. So I'm not doing much stitching at all. I'm just making sure that I'm not going to lose any of those bits. definitely need to sort this chair out on the floor. Definitely slippy. I feel like I'm going to... Anyway, right. So, pretend that we have quilted this piece and it is beautifully quilted and everything is fine. We're now going to add the Lamifix. So I'm just going to put my iron on. Now, it's best to do it as a medium iron. You know what I'm like? I'd rather go at a medium temperature. I'm just going to move that down a little bit so you can see that, because I'm not as posh as everybody else yet. I haven't got an overhead yet. It's coming. It should be here for next time, but it's not happening just yet.
But I am impressed that you've got a top and a cardigan today, where when you do that tilt, we don't get flashed.
Look at me. That is 2 gold stars.
I know.
From Hayley.
On time.
I just love the fact that the other night, and congratulations for a great demo on Craft Store. Congratulations. It was brilliant. But I sort of was in and out quickly, obviously, because it's been a busy week. And just as I was on there, John next door was on there. No, John was... What was John doing? Was he talking to you?
It was like we have Wednesday night just general chats, and we have people come on who are going to be joining us on the Craft Store. So I'll... Natasha, if you can still hear me, hang on a second. If you can still hear me, we'll be hitting you up to come and join us on Wednesday. So thumbs up, splendid.
And I know I've had a lot of questions. I will be coming on. I've just got to sort a few things.
You've got a lot on your plate at the minute, though.
Yeah, I've just got to sort a few things in the background, but I will be coming on. And I was watching, and John was talking about Sasha Fancy, and then and even in his house, he's like, fancy, Sasha Fancy.
Yeah, things aren't just
fancy. And then
fancy,
it got on to
Sasha
the Flasher.
Fancy. Yes.
And I was like, this is great.
Oh, did you hear about Gail's knicker drawer as well?
I heard about Gail's knicker drawer. I did. I mean, that was just...
Honestly, it's like herding cats. It's a good job we aren't on the proper telly, because there's stuff that sometimes goes out, and I'm thinking...
Do you know, we've only been gone since September, October, and
November.
None of us could go on live television ever again.
Because this is so informal, though, and it is just kind of, we're just chatting and sewing at the same time, and it's all splendid.
Coming in
our pajamas. We kind of forget.
I mean, you will. I actually do have.
Have you got
leggings on today?
Good, thank goodness! Oh my gosh.
I do have a bottom half one today. I am not dressed as Father Christmas's wife, and I also have a higher top on and a cardigan. So I actually think I'm looking very presentable today.
Very demure.
So I have cut the piece of Lamifix. Now the shiny side is what is going to be on the top, and the matte side is going to be on the top of your mug rug. Okay, so matte on the top of your mug rug, and your shiny side is going to be facing upwards. Did that make any sense whatsoever? I don't feel like it did, but we will.
It did. You're good.
You know what I mean.
Sound is good for you.
Now, I tend to press it in sections, as you can see. Okay, and you don't need to hold it very long. I like to sort of make sure that I'm all lined up.
Does the iron just go straight onto it, or do you need to cover it?
You need to cover it, and that's the other thing. So normally when I do a basil demonstration or anything like that, I tend not to cover it, so you can actually see what I'm doing, but you do need to cover this. So I'm just covering like so, and make sure, because it is a slippery little sucker, it will move around a little bit. And we're going to press, and it doesn't take long at all, and you are going to use that iron in motion on it. Okay, you are going to use it, and I just sort of start at the top and drag my way down, so then you're not going to get any air bubbles. Oh, that's looking good. You know when a plan comes together. And so a couple more times just to make sure that you are sealed all the way around. And the other thing, like if you wanted to do embroideries and things like that, red work, and you wanted to turn them into coasters, obviously you do your red work and then you can put your Lamifix on top. It is the most amazing product. And as I say, we have put, I have put it on the website. It is on there this morning, and you can get it in meter pieces. So obviously beware, because it is a little bit warm when it comes out of the iron. But can you see? Because obviously this is the glossy. It's a very satisfying feel. It's a very satisfying feel and sound as well. Yeah. Right, now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to make sure that I trim this down, because I know it wasn't as long as. So we're going to trim that a little bit. And Lulu, the dog, is very happy because she's now got her bed behind me. So she's very, very happy. Stewie's sulking upstairs because Lulu got to the bed first. So yeah, I think it's going to work well in this room. Let me know what you think, like with the lighting and everything else, because obviously. Right, next thing we're going to do is we're going to pop our back. We are going to place it right sides together. Just going to trim this down. And we're going to stitch all the way around, because then we're going to do it as a bit of a turn through. And when I say, you know, it's such an easy little gift. And, you know, great way to use all your scraps up as well. Really, really is a great way to.
If you wanted to bind it instead, could you?
Yeah, you can bind it instead. It's just that, to be quite honest, I didn't have the capacity to do binding today as well as anything else. So I'm just being honest with you.
That's fine.
What I would...
I did message you in the middle of the week, didn't I? Saying, are you all right for the weekend?
You did. You did. And I was like, yeah, all is good. Now, I am very, very close to the edge, because you don't want to do it in the centre. I am popping a couple of pins in. Because it is slippery, we want to hold this in place.
Could you use quilt clips if you didn't want to pin through?
You can use quilt clips, yeah. It's just that, unfortunately, I have no idea where they are at this precise moment.
So before you stitch that, should that be the other way up? Should it be right sides together? Or is that the back?
No, this is the back.
Okay.
We're going to turn it through.
Right, I didn't know if that was the back of the bumbleberry or the front of the bumbleberry.
No, this is the back. This is the back of the bumbleberry. Thank you.
Just to know you're tired.
I love her.
I didn't want you to sew it and then be like, oh no.
Right, so we're going to take this under, and obviously 1/4 of an inch or whatever you decide to. Right, where the bloody hell has that come out from? Sorry, I've just had a screw come out of my walking foot.
Just the one screw loose then, Sasha?
Only. Where on earth has that come from?
It hasn't come out where it holds the foot on, has it?
Oh, I don't know. We'll soon find out in a minute. So obviously I'm going to do a little bit of backwards and forwards in, just to secure where I am going to turn that through. We'll soon know if the walking foot falls apart.
So if there's a great big crunch, we need to maybe just give you a minute.
We know what it is. And obviously, like Hayley was saying, if you wanted to use binding, obviously you can use binding. Absolutely no problem. We all have. Do you know, the one thing that I will say, sorting out the sewing room to bring it all downstairs, I reckon I must have found about 50 different lots of binding that I'd made, but all bits and pieces. This would be great for that, to use all those little bits that we've got left. We tend to have so much left. Come on. Thank you. And so I'm just stitching, obviously I'm stitching through the Lamifix because we are going to turn this through. Absolutely no problems. You know, you can hear it. I have got the walking foot on because I have got a little bit of wadding in there. Let's just turn that like so. And the last bit. Right. So make sure that I have caught all the way around, which I think I have done. And let's just nip those corners off. And then you're going to turn this through. Now you can hear it's a little bit crackly because obviously that's the Lamifix. If it does move, you can press it again. Absolutely no problem.
If you have turned it through and you've created creases, does pressing it again knock those out?
It will knock it out. I'm going to show you. I will show you.
But I suppose if you're not that confident with turning it out, then the binding option.
The binding option, yeah, would be a lot easier, right, for you if you've never done.
It's got a great sound to it, hasn't it?
I know. I love Lamifix. I do love it. Right, let me just move that screw out of the way because I want to keep that safe, just in case it is actually something important. Right. Let's just poke these corners out a little bit. I mean, obviously most people have got really, really posh jiggly pokeries to poke their corners out, but I just use a mechanical pencil. And then we are going to make sure that that folds like so. And we're going to pop a pin in there, which will hold that in place. And I'm just going to put the iron on. And again, let me just get that piece of fabric. And we're just going to give this a really good press again. Perfect. So give that a really nice. Oh, it's so lovely. Now, if you wanted to, obviously you can top stitch around.
Speaking of top stitching, I've got Gina with a question. Would you use a standard needle for this?
I've used a standard needle in it. Yeah, I've just used this as a top stitch needle.
Does it need to be a new needle or is it?
I would probably not use a new needle because if you're doing it can blunt it a little bit. So maybe, to be quite honest, I tend to have some needles that are sort of like that I've used for quilting, that I've used for different things, and I take them out because I'm starting a new thing. And those are the needles that I would say are perfect for this. So let's just pop that on top again. Now I've closed that hole properly. Give it a nice press. And there you go. Obviously, you can see there, we've got the hole here. You're going to top stitch all the way around. But I just want you to see how by pressing that again, it goes completely beautifully flat. And it is that white clean. Now, obviously, you can put a border around it. You can do lots of different fabrics. You can do lots of different things. This is a very, very basic, just to show you what Lamifix can actually do. There you go. And so then you can pop your cut, pop whatever you want on it. Obviously I would top stitch all the way around so that I would close that hole at the same point as well. But if you were doing something like a purse or a little wallet, this is a perfect size. I would sort of go maybe up to 10 inches. Maybe that's about it for the Lamifix. But yeah, there we go.
Very much. Right, let me just grab everybody else. Because do you know what? They're all so good this week. Last week it was honestly, it was like herding cats. I had Lorraine and Jeff, and they kept wandering off. And then I had, who else did I have? There was somebody else who was never there when we were coming back as well. I'm like, where did they keep going? I keep like messaging them, come back. But it's all good. So I have a question for you, Michelle. It's come through on YouTube. Yasmin said she was given the Thimble Wood Pinny Mouse kit for Christmas.
Oh, lovely, yes, this one. I've got it
You
here.
might have to knock your speakers off a second because I think we've got a bit of an echo from you.
Okay, which speakers do we need to turn off?
Don't know.
Probably one on the
Have you got your speaker on your phone on as well as your...
Yeah, take that right down that one.
Try again.
Keep going. That's it. Is that better?
It's still there a little bit, but
The trouble is now I can't hear you.
Ah.
I might be clear, but you might not be.
You might have to turn down the one that's on the Ninja, which is kind of bringing you into us. Hang on.
Okay.
Here. I don't think I can. I think it's got to be your end. Anyway, she got the Pinny Mouse for Christmas, and she's also come back and bought the rabbit in a carrot. I don't know what a rabbit in a carrot is, but I like the sound of it. Oh, there you go. One rabbit in a carrot. You've muted yourself now.
Oh, we muted ourselves. We're doing well, we'll get there.
Do you know what? That's all right. It's I think Natasha's up for demoing next. Or no, is she? Let me have a look. Right, well she isn't actually. You're up for demoing next, but I think it might be worth us sorting that echo out. So Natasha, are you ready to go?
Always ready.
Swap it to you next, and we go and try and sort the echo
ready.
out.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay.
I will have a very quick tidy then, and I'm busy making next week's makes because we do shows three days a week here. Have done for the last five years, and you suddenly go back through all your patterns and realize, my goodness, we've really made some. But as a lot of you know, I absolutely love Tilda. I was very fortunate a few years ago when I first started Natasha Makes to actually get to interview Tuna Fernando, who is the who's the designer for Tilda. Tuna is Tilda. And I've always loved her fabrics. So today we launch her brand new fabric. So rather than demoing first, I'm going to show you all these gorgeous fabrics. They are available at Natasha Makes. Here's the thing, okay? There's an embargo, which means that we couldn't start sending them out until yesterday. And we were so. We have kept our pre-order deals going until midnight tonight. After that, these incredible pre-order deals, which I'm going to show you now, they have to go. They have to. If any of you follow us, then you will know that we have of late had the most incredible waxed fabrics come through our doors. Long story short, the fabrics that are manufactured for Barber, somewhere along the line there's been a retirement, and so these fabrics have come onto the market for general sale, and I've snapped them up. So they are Barber fabrics, but we are not charging Barber prices for them. In fact, with some of these bundles today, you're getting half a meter of Barber fabric for free. So these are waterproof fabrics, water resistant fabrics. They're different weights. I'll talk you through those. But if you've been watching us of late, then you know that you can make things like this, which is your little wax-based caddy. They're beautiful to sew with, by the way. Really, really easy, because I wasn't sure. And then little things like this. And big things like bags and all sorts of goodies. So they're lovely to work with, lovely to sew with. They should retail at £45 a metre. But let me show you these, because I've got 4 bundles where you'll get a half metre for free. So you should be paying £22.50 for that fabric, but you're not. You're getting it for free when you buy the Tilda, which is 5 long quarters for £19.99. So it's better than half price. Who doesn't love better than half price? It's a good one, right? It's a good one. Let me just sign in so that I can change my own pages around. Oh my goodness. Right. Here we go. If you can hear my children screaming outside, sorry, it's Sunday. And, you know, we got kids. So let me do this. So this here is your free half a metre. Of course, it's dressmaking width on these wax fabrics. This is a Bonneville wax. So it does have a waxy finish to it. It is 4 ounce by the feel of it, and it's absolutely beautiful. It's in a cloud grey, and you get that for free when you buy these long quarters. If you put two in the basket, by the way, then we will cut you half metre increments, and you'll get a metre of wax fabric for free. You cannot say fairer than that, can you? So these are the greys and the limes, and I just think they are exquisite. Look at these. So this is the Sunday brunch, which, you know, clearly Hayley thought we had created just for Sunday, Secret Sunday Club. No. This is actually what they are called. So these are your bundles here. They are going with your greys. Ooh, beautiful. These are half meters. You'll get long quarters. You're buying for £19.99. You're buying 5 long quarters. Normally, Tilda comes as fat quarters. So when you buy them, you can buy them elsewhere or pre-cut. And get the freebies. And we just think that long quarters are a really, really lovely way to work with your Tilda. Lots of different project ideas with this. I don't know if it's going to hang around long enough for me to demo them all, but that is bundle number 1. Now, if you just go to natashamakes.com and you just type in Sunday brunch, then all of these will come up. Now, I have 2 different options here for you. When we were putting these bundles together with the free fabrics, the free waxes, we only had the photos of the fabric. We hadn't been sent samples of it. So we didn't actually know. We thought we knew what was going to go, but it was always with the disclaimer that if they came in and they went with a different fabric better, we would swap it out for that. And then these came in and they went stunningly. What are we going to do with 2 colors? So now you get to choose. So you just pop the bundle in with the free wax that you want. So you have got, this is option number 1. These are the pink and ginger colorways here. And again, these fabrics, just beautiful. I mean, look at this. So this is a chestnut color. And I mean, just look at it. So it's just that shade deeper. Let me spin that around for you. And again, absolutely perfect for projects like this. So check out our website. If you just put waxed in there, lots of different designs and patterns and things will come up for you based around the wax fabrics that we've had. We've made all sorts of stuff with them. But this here is a very, very versatile one. That is, yeah, I'd say that's a 4 ounce. So if you'd like it with the chestnut, it's very, very beautiful. It's kind of that classic color, that classic Barber color. But Izzy that works with me, she took one look and went, oh, but Tash, what about this blue in here? Wow. I have got a handful of, I don't have as many as the chestnut. And guys, when these are gone, they are gone, because I don't have any more of this blue pewter. Don't have any more of it. So if you want it with the blue pewter, picking up this blue in here and here and here, and just looking super gorgeous, because it's funny when it's next to the pink, it's kind of it becomes more grey than blue, but then when you pop it there, it does pick up those blues, and it's just, colour just amazes me all the time, and I absolutely adore it. But I just think, there we go, that's it. Have a look at this. This is your whimsical Tilda fabric. Absolutely stunning. And there it is for you. All good, ready to go. Pa-ba! So they are two different options, but you have to make sure you put the right one, because we will send you whichever one you order, whether you order it with the chestnut or whether you order it with the blue pewter, then that's entirely up to you. Okay? Might demo in this one later. It's a bit gorgeous. And then, this is the last colorway. Now this is a tan tin cloth. Try saying that after a couple of gins. This is a tan tin cloth. What's a tin cloth? So a tin cloth is basically, it's like a wax fabric, and it has been treated with wax, but it's had other finishings on it. This is the heaviest weight out of all of the free waxes that we are offering. This is an 8 ounce. So this has got a really good structure to it, which means you're not having to interface or any of that jazz. None of that needs to happen with this. And again, it's really beautiful. The other thing is, because it's got that wax coating on there, and you don't have to use any different needles or anything else with it, but when you fold it, it's great. It just sort of stays. Now you'll see that mark there is where obviously the wax is sort of, you know, when you move anything waxy, it has that effect. If you want to ever get rid on any of your fabrics those creases, then just go in with some parchment paper underneath on top and heat it with your iron, and it will melt the wax into it, and it's just perfect. It's absolutely fabulous. What fabrics are going with that? Well, these ones. And again, it's not a complete color match. We've gone for something that is tonal rather than an actual color match. And so here you have these absolute beauties. It's a tone darker than this sort of this beigey color here. And it's the tan tin cloth. Look at this. Oh, it's so beautiful. I mean, look at that and that. I absolutely adore all of them. So these are the colorways, and the way that Tilda does her patterns is that she will launch and have 20 different designs. Now we've got 15 of them here. The other 5 are sold out. They sold out the day we launched them. But what we do have is then the blenders. Now she calls them blenders. I think these are stunning. When they came in, Izzy, who works for me, she hadn't seen them. She opened the box. She went, "Oh, if these are the blenders, how gorgeous are the real ones?" And that was her reaction. The blenders are, to my mind, beautiful ditzy standalone fabrics. But when you see them together, and we're offering them to you today in a bundle of 12, with a bit of a healthy discount on there for you. Let me get them out so that you can have a look at them all. But they blend throughout this whole collection. So as well as being absolutely perfect
Natasha,
for your EPP.
I think we're having a little bit of a problem with your feed, because all of a sudden you're quite blurry.
Oh.
I don't know why.
I haven't touched anything.
Okay. Brilliant. It's going to be one of those days. That's fine. Yeah, We will try and fix it. Keep going for now.
What if I go back overhead?
That one's better.
Okay, we'll stick with this one then.
Okay, that one's better than
You don't need
the
to
front
see me.
one.
You don't need to see me at all. I'll show you these fabrics and then we'll see what's up with what.
Oh.
But if you love English paper piecing, then these ditsies, I mean, this is a start of a sample, then these ditsies are absolutely stunning and they just complement everything. Can you see okay on this camera, Hayley? I can see a little frown.
It's because I'm pressing many buttons all at the same time. Yeah, that one's better. Definitely better than the front on one. Stick with that one.
Okay. What if I do this?
What are you going to press? That one also a little fuzzy at the minute. What we might need to do is up your output rate, but we can work on that in a minute.
We'll stick here then. We'll stick here
there.
for now.
That's the best one for now.
So these are the blenders, and they are available in a bundle of 12. Again, natashamakes.com. That's where you're going to find all of these. Aren't they gorgeous? Ugh. Doesn't finish there, you see. That you've got blues in there. You've got such a range throughout. I spread them out for you here. Here we go. So you've got across here all the colours absolutely sorted. They are your 12. It's the same pattern throughout. It is called Tipsy. Because Sunday brunch, isn't it? You're allowed to get tipsy on a Sunday brunch. That dems the rules with those bottomless brunches, isn't it?
Well, I've got a couple of friends who thoroughly enjoy a bottomless brunch. I don't think I'd be very good at it because I can only do about 2 drinks and then I'm done.
You're then pie-eyed. That's it. Game over.
I'm quite the lightweight.
I believe what they say is that is a cost-efficient date.
Yes, that's what Matt calls me. He calls me value for money.
and that's okay. Good cost-efficient date.
Yeah, I mean, I have friends who have
you
real
can
skills.
rainbow these to your heart's desire. I just love them, and they bring me a huge amount of joy, and I'm very happy spending hours just rearranging them into sort of colour families and
Do you want
what
me
have you.
to show people them on your web? Because obviously we're having a little trouble with that being a little bit blurry at the minute, so they can see the full kind of glory of the images and the little pictures.
Yeah. If you have a look on the web.
Okay, I shall move it across now. Yeah. We've got everything here. It's brilliant. So if you have a look on Natasha Makes website, you can see there's all of those bundles that you can see with the Tilda fabrics, but also with that waxed cotton as well. And then those tipsy designs are all here. Can we make it bigger? Of course we can make it bigger. So there you go. It's all those beautiful little kind of really ditzy florals, and all of those colours are available there. So the best place to look at things at the minute, I would probably say, is to hop over to Natasha's website.
And I have to say that when these are, these will stay up until they sell out, but the waxed deal has to end at midnight tonight. I can't hold that anymore. Like, it's better than half price. It is insane.
Do you know the barber shop's probably about, like, the barber factory's probably about 5 miles from here, from where I am.
Yeah.
Literally just around the corner.
They are beautiful fabrics, and so many people have been scared to use them. So it's been really nice to go, no, don't be scared, because they are gorgeous to sew with. But also they don't come onto the open market very often at all. So the fact that we've managed to get our hands on them, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So that is the offering fabric wise that we have for you. And then when we come back later, we'll demo.
Excellent. Well, what we'll do is we'll just jump back everybody together, but it appears Sasha is now having a snack.
Got to keep her energy up.
Well, I mean, absolutely. Energy must be maintained. There are no rules on this, and this is the thing that people just can't seem to get used to. Is we're all just in our houses sewing, and yeah. Sometimes we've had pets wandering in, we've had people having snacks, because we all just sit and watch each other doing stuff. But
I've got a little bowl of snacks here, little sewing snacks. You've got to keep your energy up. It's important.
See,
Very
you're
important.
not on your own, Sasha. Michelle's got the best snack. I've just seen
I'm going to eat your products in a minute.
Excellent. So what I will do is I'll pass it over to Michelle so we can get you underway on your demo, and then Natasha, you and I are going to try and see if we can improve that picture quality for everybody, and we will take it from there. So Michelle, if you're ready.
I am. I hope have I got an echo? Am I good now?
No, you are echo free. We have fixed it.
Lovely. Sorry, Yasmin. I was just commenting on your comment when we had all problems with the echoes. So hopefully you're still there, Yasmin, and I'm glad you liked Penny Mouse. He was my first kit ever, actually. In fact, it was the reason why I started Thimble Wood, because I was teaching it as a workshop, and everybody asked me to make little Penny Mouse. So, with his magnet to pick your pins up, and you take this piece out here, and you've got your needle roll around the bobbin. So that was my first ever kit, and it's still one of the most popular. He's a nice little easy make. He's got some Liberty fabric there at the front, and this is made of linen, and you get all of that in the kit. So anyway, on to what I'm going to show you today. It's spring. Well, no, it's not actually. It's really grey out there, but we're going to pretend it's spring. And I've got a nice little kit here called Spring Blooms. This is the actual make here. So you can see you've got some felt flowers in a little jug, and there's lots of different techniques in making these little flowers, and I'm going to show you some in a moment. There's the box. I'm just going to open him up and let you have a look what's inside. So you've got all those different felts. So these are all wool blend felts. They're all lovely quality felts to use. You've got some wires that you need in there. This is a piece of palmit violin that we're going to use, and you've got your instruction booklet. Let's take that away. Now, I spend a lot of time doing these instructions. I like them to be really clear and really simple and straightforward for people. So there's lots and lots of step-by-step photos, lots of details, lots of tips, because I want to make sure that everybody can make this. The idea is that once you've bought a kit, you want to be able to actually do it. So, I put in so much information, so you've got it all there. Okay, let's keep going. You will also find that you have your pattern sheets. Now, these are separate. They're on a sort of a thin card. They're all full size, so you never need to go and enlarge these before you start. They're there ready for you to use. Cut them out, and they're good to go. And if once you've cut one of these out, you kind of realize that, oh, I wish I could make that again, and you've managed to lose your pieces, in the back of this booklet they're repeated, so they are still here as well. Sometimes if it's a big piece, you might have to cut on a fold or something like that. I don't think you do. Sometimes they're overlapped, but you've still got them. You can still trace them off and use them again. So let's move on to what we're going to do. Let's move mine out of the way. Now we bring these back. So these are all our flowers, and they're actually all loose in here, and they're all on separate wires. So you can see we've got a daffodil, we've got a daisy. This is supposed to be a grape hyacinth. Oh, I'm not quite sure what this is. It might be forsythia, possibly. I don't know. I could do with my nan to tell me, but she's not here. So, and obviously that's a tulip. We know that one. And you make the little jug as well. So a little felt jug. So we're going to start by trying to make a little daisy, because he's quite simple. Now, if you've got one of those nice cutting machines that cuts out flower shapes, you could always just utilize the shapes that they cut out. You don't need to copy, the ones that I've got in the pattern, because they will work as well. But I've got my little daisy shape, and I've gone ahead here and I've cut 2 out, ready to make our daisy. Now, as you can see, this is just some white felt. This one's a bit pinky on the edges, so I like to add a little bit of shading. So I'm going to get myself some scrap paper. I don't want to damage my cutting mat. And this stuff, it's chalk pastel. It's decorator's chalks, it's sometimes known as. It was a thing for the paper crafting world, but I use it on felt. You can also use cheap makeup. This was a brand. It's actually, it looks like makeup, but it is designed for art use rather than to go on your skin. But the stuff that goes on your skin is just as well. You know, you can use that too. And I've got really technical tool. This is, I've got a piece of stick and it's got a crocodile clip on the end, and I've got a little pom-pom in the end. You don't have to use one of these. You could use a cotton bud. You can just use your finger. And I'm going to get a little bit of this pink color. I'm just going to test it on there, so it makes it not too dark. And then, oh, see, look how much more darker that comes out on that felt. I'm going to wipe it on my felt. Don't panic if it's gone a bit dark, because it will settle down a bit by just wiping it back off with your finger. And over time that will fade as well. And actually it's not too bad now. Now I've done the others, it's not looking so much. Let's get a bit more on there. So you can see how I've created that sort of slightly pinky edge that you do see on daisies. Let's just finish that off. Okay, so yeah, I'd probably do it on the other as well, but I'll leave it for now because it's a bit boring to watch that. So once we've done that, we need to make a stem for our daisy. I'm going to lose my paper now. And each of these daisies have a wired stem so that you can move them and bend them and change the position of where you want them to sit in your little display. So I have some, this is just some floristry wire. I can't remember the gauge of it, but it does say in the instructions what gauge it is. Obviously, if you buy the kit, it's always all included anyway, but if you did want to get it separately, it does say on the pattern. And I have just bent over the very end of my wire using pliers. I'll show you on this one. I've got little round nose pliers. The only reason I'm doing this is to stop you ending up jabbing that little sharp end into yourself. If we bend him back again as well, it just means you've got a rounded end and you haven't got a sharp point. So I've just made a little loop. It's going to get completely hidden. It doesn't need to be neat. All right, so let's put that one. Strip of felt, and we're going to cover our wire stem. So I'm just going to put that on there. I've just anchored some thread to the end, and now I'm literally going to wrap the felt around. It's quite tricky to begin with because you kind of need 3 hands to hold and, you know, maneuver. So I'm literally doing an over stitch. I want to try and bring it a little closer to the camera, so if that makes it any easier to see for you. So you've got to keep doing a couple of stitches, tucking it back round, and then doing a couple more stitches. And you know what would help me massively? If I put my glasses on. There we go. Oh look, I can see it now. Hello wire. You were just a fuzz just now. Okay, so again I've done a couple of stitches. I'm tucking it in with my thumbnail. I'm pulling this side over. You want to get that nicely tight around that wire. Once you get going, you can actually zoom a bit faster. It's just getting it started that's a bit more tricky. So here we keep going. I'll do a little tiny bit more, and then we'll go over to what I made earlier. Okay, another couple of stitches, and you can just see what I'm doing. So we're just binding the felt around the wire. So this gives us a nicer, thicker stem, and it gives us something to sew to so that we can attach our flower to our wire in a moment. Now, when I put this on here, I've got a bit of extra wire sticking out of the top. That is intentional. We want that bit of extra wire. So don't worry, I didn't cut my felt too short. That was on purpose. So I've got one here and I'd already done, and I've got my wire sticking out of the top there. And as you can see, I've gone all the way to the end. Now I need to get some flowers. Oh, we need a calyx. Nearly forgot. This is the little bit, I'm not sure if calyx is the right name. I think it is. This is a little piece that sits on the back of the flower. Okay, so that's that piece. And I've just cut that out again from that same green felt. And there's a little dart that we need to sew up first. So I'm just gonna snatch me a bit of thread off there. start with a little
Michelle,
more.
I've got a question
Yeah.
from Jeanette. She sees these
Yeah.
are lovely little makes. She's got some flower dies from card making days. Would she be able to try those out with the same technique?
The little metal ones, the card making ones, give it a go. The only thing is whether it will cut through the thicker quality felt, but it should do. I think you're only going to get one cut at once. With, I know with the Sizzix, the thicker Sizzix type dies with the metal cutter in, you could probably cut 2 or 3 layers at once. But with those, it's definitely one at a time. But I have seen it work. You sometimes just get a few areas where it hasn't quite gone through, and you just need a little pair of scissors, just snip it out. But certainly give it a try. It's definitely worth it. If you've got the tools there, then yeah, go for it. Okay, now I'm going to add a knot to my thread. Now with this felt, like I said, it was a wool blend felt. It's nice and thick. So what I tend to do is I tend to start a little further in than where I want my thread to be, and needle through the thickness of the fabric. You see, I've put my needle through. You can't see the needle on this side. You can't see it on the needle the other side. Let's try and show you a little bit closer. Oh, I'm in the wrong place. There we go. That's a bit better. Can you see? So I've needled through. So my needle's actually going through the very center of the fabric. And it just means that then your knot isn't exactly on that edge. Because if your knot's exactly on that edge, your little tail is always going to be hanging out where you don't want it to be. This way, that is right in the middle of your fabric. I can cut the little tail off a bit, and it isn't going to jut you out, and it isn't going to cause you so much trouble. Okay, I'm just going to do an extra little stitch because I like to make sure it's really secure. And then, so let's get my little calyx. I've got a little dart in there. I'm just going to fold those two together. And I'm going to over sew along that dart. Let me just get it round in my hands comfy. So just very simple. With over sewing, you're just going from the same side. You're bringing the thread over as the needle is entering the fabric from the same side every time. Okay. So every single stitch is entering the fabric from the same side. Just put an extra one on the end there to make sure it's secure. And now that's just made that calyx have a bit of shape, so it's not a completely flat piece of felt. Okay, I tend to leave threads on everything just in case I need them later, and I am going to need it in a moment, so I am going to just leave that on. Now we've got our nice covered stem from earlier. I'm going to just stick that up through the middle there. So we've got the plain piece of wire sticking out through the calyxy bit. Now I'd left that thread attached. I'm just going to sew around the top of there to join it together. You don't, just a couple of stitches will do. It doesn't need to be that firm. You're not going to be, it's not like a seam in a pair of trousers or something that's going to be stretched and pulled all day long. You just need a couple of stitches to hold it together. Let's have one more just for luck. Okay, and again, to finish off that thread, I tend to needle down through the felt somewhere to get rid of him. So we're going to just take him down. Take him down there and get rid. Snip it off. So now we have a covered wire with a calyx on the top, and that's still the sticky out bit of wire there. I need to make a couple of holes in the center of these daisies, and to do that, again, just use your needle, kind of find the middle, you can eyeball it if it's easy enough, and then you just wiggle the needle around. I'm making like a circular motion with the needle, and it's making the hole bigger. I don't know if you can see that or not, or whether that's a bit tricky to see. You need to do both. So let's do the same, wiggle it around, and it makes a bigger hole in your felt. Plop those on there. There we go. Pretty simple. And I like to offset the petals so that you've got one set of petals that way and one that way. And to stop that falling off, we're going to bend the wire. So I'm going back to my pliers. I'm going to bend it over. Oh, didn't want to pull it up.
and then try and curl it round. Anyone done any jewellery making, this will be a doddle, but typical today, it's being a bit stiff. There we go, we've got it curled round now. So that will help hold it on and it's not going to come up. Now you can also put some stitches around the back here, attaching this calyx to the back of those petals, and that will help hold it all together too. The next thing our daisy needs is something in the middle, you know, this fluffy middle bit. So we're going to put that one down and we'll make this one. I've got to find a bit of yellow, cut a bit of yellow especially. Okay, so again, just a strip of felt, and we're going to fringe it. That just means that we're going to cut little lines. I'm sure you must have did this at school. What you don't want to do is cut all the way through, because then you'll just cut it in half. So we're just going to cut snips most of the way, but not all of the way. You see, I've done them kind of chunky so that you can see them. I perhaps do them a bit finer normally, but right, let's carry on doing those all the way down. Doesn't take too long. And then it's a very simple job of rolling those up. So you take the whole lot and we roll it around. Again, it's one of those things, once you've got it going, it's easier than making a start. So if you've ever done quilling, this is exactly the same technique as you would have done in quilling to make the little flower centres. There you go. And then all you need to do is brush it down, and that's the centre of your flower. Now I need to sew that off. Got another one here which I have sewn, rather spectacularly badly sewn, but I have sewn it. Sew that off. I would just, to make sure that's secure, I'd sew directly through it a few times. I could do it, it's one colour thread, but it'll be easier because you'll see it.
I've got a message from Sarah saying these are fab, loving the demo, really easy to follow.
Oh, lovely. I'm glad you can see me and I'm not echoing anymore.
No, I mean we always have, there's always something on a Secret Sewing Club, but we always fix it and we always power on through.
There we go. So it's not the neatest bit of sewn in the world, but you can see what I mean. You're kind of just stabbing all the way through and then it's going to hold it together. And then the last little stage is you just want to plonk that on there. And again, I wouldn't be using green thread normally. I choose either the yellow or the white and sew that flower centre down. Can you see in there what I'm doing? I'm kind of, it's going to get caught around every petal. So it's one of those jobs that's going to drive you a bit insane, but after a while, you're fine. So what I'm doing, I'm going angular down through that little yellow piece, catching some of the white petals behind and then pulling the thread through. And then moving around, going down through the yellow piece, coming up through the white and pulling. And if you go all the way round, you'll get him anchored on there nice and firmly. Obviously I haven't gone all the way round yet. The last little touch is to kind of crush it in your hand, kind of hold it together quite tightly in your hand, because it gives it a nice sort of cupped shape and it looks a lot more realistic than when it was all just flat and sticking out. So that's always my last thing, is to give it a little shape and he looks more like a natural daisy. And then you can play around and put him in your vase with your other things. I don't know how much time we've got left. I can go on to another flower a bit quickly.
No, I'll tell you what, we'll hop back together and then we can always do
no problem.
another flower in the next one. So let me see. Oh, everybody's there. Everybody's there. Always a winner. There we go. Everybody's just beavering about. And oh no, I've forgot about Natasha because she rejoined and I've had to add her back in. Bear with, caller. I shall go and get her back. You two can just chat among yourselves. I'll go and just retrieve Natasha.
How are you doing, ladies? You all okay?
Oh, can you hear us, Sasha?
Flowers there, Michelle.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, there we go.
I'm here.
She's back in the room.
Oh, she's back. Hello.
Hello.
I am just going to throw it back to you just for a little bit, Natasha, just to double check that we have got you fixed.
Should we check? Should we have a little walk through each camera angle, and we'll just see where we're at.
Double
So
check.
this is me. Hello, can you see me? Woo.
Well, yes, but you've gone fuzzy again. Josh has just been and fixed it.
But nothing's changed since we just did it.
I know.
What if we go overhead?
That one's still a bit fuzzy. I think we're going to have to do more serious investigations here.
That's
We
so
had it
strange.
and it was crystal clear. And
Yeah.
now...
It's really weird because when I look at the screen, mine is the only one that's clear and everybody else is fuzzy.
Right, I'll put us back together. We'll try and fix that in a minute. So, Mrs. Sasha.
See, now she's fine again. Altogether, she's clear as day. She's clear as anything. But
Okay.
yeah, how bizarre.
We'll fix it. We've had worse than this. We'll fix it. Trust me, Natasha. We've had worse than this.
She has to work with me, Natasha. It's challenging on the best of days.
Yes. Technologically, you've got one camera, you plug it in, you're quite straightforward. Otherwise, content-wise...
You're trying to be so polite.
I
really.
am. I'm trying to be so
Why?
polite. Content-wise, sometimes Sasha is challenging. She has a tendency
It's
to...
ADHD and bipolar and an absolute nightmare, and we put it out there, we own it, we say it, it's fine.
Yes, but you have a tendency to forget that maybe you tend to forget stuff and then just either wander off and flash your bottom half or your top half. But it's all good. Sasha the Flasher, you've got your own kind of... You've got your own thing going on now.
We need badges now. We need badges that... I think we need badges of who they follow in Sasha the Flasher.
All right. Well, Sasha the
Right.
Flasher, it is all yours.
So at the moment, I haven't got. I've got some jelly rolls, some strip rolls, but I haven't got many on the website. Some more will be added, but if you want to have a go with these sort of things, obviously I understand that jelly rolls, strip rolls are a little bit of a investment at times. You know, some of them are really, really expensive. So that's why I would look at Hayley's strip rolls. You know, they work brilliantly. They work really, really well. And it means then that you can have a play around with blocks. Now, we are going to do a really easy one today. We're going to look at rail fence. Now, I've had this jelly roll in my stash for goodness knows how long. Oh, thank you, Carol. For goodness knows how long, and it's black and white. It's Lewis and Irene. It's got black and white. It's got lines. It's got all bits. So you can guess that I want to make a really easy, quick quilt for Adley. So you're going to take 3 strips, and you're going to join them together in whichever colour way you choose. So again, I've got 3 strips here. I'm just going to bring the sewing machine over. It's all very nice being in this new room, but it's a big mess behind me still, and it just means I can't find anything. There's still a lot to be sorted. So tonight you will sort of see at 6 o'clock, if you join me on Facebook, because we do our lives on a Sunday evening, Sasha Sews 123 on Facebook, straight sort of after here. And yeah, I'm going to do a proper show, even though it's a mess. We own it. We go with it. It's fine. So you're going to take your 3 strips, and you are going to take the first 2, and you're going to go right sides together. So obviously Hayley and I are working on lots of exciting things in the background, not just things for Sewing Street, but things to get on the website and now all sort of the exciting bits are sort of over with. Well, I say the exciting bits, she's had her baby. The room is moved downstairs. Why not do it in all the same week? You know, if we're going to panic and do this stuff, we do it all in the same week. It's fine. I thought I had that the wrong way up then. So you're going to take 2 of your strips, right sides together, 1/4 of an inch, and you're going to join them. So make sure that they stay nice and lined up, because you want that seam really, really nice and straight. Now, something like this strip roll, which is a fabulous 40. So if you weren't aware, the whole names of jelly rolls. So jelly roll, charm pack, layer cake, owned by and licensed by Moda, whereas other people that make their own, some do fabulous 40s, some do strip rolls, some do, yeah, all different names out there. But we tend to know them as jelly rolls. But you don't have to use a jelly roll. So if you wanted to knock up a really quick quilt, a rail fence is a really nice, simple one and effective. And especially because this one is very geometric, it's lots of colours, lots of lines. But I know Hayley's got some absolutely brilliant ones on there. I think she's still sorting bits out. If not, she could have showed you on her website whereabouts they are, so you know that you're looking.
Do it at the
but
end,
when she's finished, what she's doing,
we're just doing some technical support.
show you on her website where we can find them. Bless her. Did you hear that, Hayley?
Yeah, I did say we will do it at the end, because at the minute I'm just doing a spot of
no
technical
problem.
support.
So we're just going to pop that 3rd strip on.
So, no, it's
Now,
dropped
rail
out again.
fence is
We've got
traditionally
blurry again.
3 strips.
It's gone blurry again.
And it's all about
It
the way
was
that you
crystal
position
clear.
them when you are
I
joining
literally
them
spoke
together.
to
So some
Sasha
will
for a
be
second and
horizontal,
looked
then
away,
some will
and
be
now it's
vertical.
blurry again.
And that's what gives you
I
that
think
rail
we
fence
start your
design.
router, your
And as I say,
internet coming in.
Even something like a lap quilt, it just looks really, really effective. And it's a really, really nice block to do. Especially when I find that I have lots of odd strips left over and I don't know why. And I think something like a rail fence, you can really go random and off the wall with it. It just works. It just works.
And I
I'm
thought
sure that we haven't. Are you sewing top to bottom, then bottom to top? Yes, you can do, or you can use your flatter, and it will make sure that everything stays nice and flat, obviously. But yeah, you are right, Jane. It's the way to do it. Because if you sew, it's not too bad if you're only sewing 3 strips. If you're sewing any more than 3 or 4 strips and you're doing it top to bottom all the way through, what will happen is they tend to curb, and they tend to end up, your strips look a little bit like a banana. So they recommend that you would do top to bottom and then right sides together again and then bottom to top for your stitching. It just helps. So we're just coming to the end of this one. I am really, really excited for my dinner tonight. So I bought one of them cheese fondue pot things, and I am so excited. Like, literally, oh my goodness, excited. Because I can't remember the last time that I actually ate anything.
Oh, you can't beat like a little
I've got
camembert
all my
type
little
thing.
bits and pieces to go with it. I've got my cheesy fondue pot. I've got my cucumbers. What am I dipping in it?
Yeah.
I've got cucumbers. I've got red peppers. I've got carrot sticks. Sounds really good, doesn't it? Then I got rich chili crackers, and I've got a fresh cob loaf of bread. So yeah.
See, for me, it's just got to be bread.
I have to be a little bit good as well. Have to be just a little bit good, you know. But if not, the 4 stone weight loss ain't going to stay off, is it? But I am going to say that is my treat for this week, is the cob bread. Oh, there's nothing like bread and dippy cheese, is there? Oh. And the thing is that obviously now I don't have to share it with anybody.
That. Oh,
don't. We can hear you.
I'm fixing.
We are talking about cheese. I learned the hard way and had to pick 4 rows. Yeah. So anything more than 3 rows. I mean, you can see I've sprayed my flatter on here. It goes beautifully, beautifully non-banana like. And also just smells so good. So keep that like so. I'm so looking forward to being able to start sewing soon. The lines have been. How are you feeling, Jeanette? How are you doing? Are you feeling better? I must say, now I'm back to sewing downstairs, I am loving it. I am. It's just the fact that I have no room full of sand. Right. So, having to rely on hubby to provide sustenance as I've broken my arm. No, Jean. Oh, Jane. Does that mean, Jane, I've got to share with you? Does it? Are you sharing your lasagna? Jean, how on earth have you broken your arm? So that's really bizarre because everyone knows, obviously, that I broke my ankle very, very badly. Last night, I had to go to CT scan at 7 o'clock in the evening on a Saturday night. Bizarre. Right. So, when you have joined your 3 strips together, they should come out at about 6.5 inches. So what you're going to do is you're going to trim these to 6.5 inch subcuts. Now a subcut is basically when, so you've got your strips, you've joined them together. So if I was doing, say, 5-inch squares, I would cut a 5-inch strip and then I would subcut it into 5 inches. Much easier than trying to cut 5 squares with a pair of scissors. So I am going to, Jeanette, I'm getting there. Always think you recover better at home. Definitely. So I've chopped these selvages off, and you're going to make sure that you're going to keep this nice and straight as well. So that's all right. Don't worry. That's just the ironing board. Only fell on the dog. Well, that's what I reckon, Sarah. So Sarah James just said she thinks that evenings and weekends for scans and x-rays and things. And I think that's what they're doing. 7 p.m. on the Saturday night. It was crazy. Right. So I need to cut 6.5 inch square. So I'm going to subcut. Obviously, I've put my 3 strips together. I'm going to make sure that I'm nice and straight because that's the important thing. And then we're going to cut 6.5 inches like so. And we're going to go again. And we're going to do 6.5. And then do that. And then obviously you're going to keep going until that whole set of strips are So the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do another one. An operation on my arm on Tuesday. Oh, not good. Do you know, everybody that seems to be breaking something at the moment seems to be have surgery. I don't know whether it's to go to, but yeah, I'm just waiting for the date now to have a couple of the bigger screws removed. So right. So where are we? So we are just carrying on cutting these. I just want to be able to cut a couple of different ones for you so we can sort of see how it's going to look. And so this is your subpet, and many people that when they start, I need a new blade. Many people when they start patchwork, they don't like rotary cutters, and so they use scissors, and you'll see them cutting 5-inch and 4-inch squares with a pair of scissors. It's always best to cut the actual amount that you want, and then so cut it into a strip, say like 4 inches, and then subcut it. And then we're just going to do this one as well.
I'm in the scissor clubs. I'm sorry.
Tripped over a curb and put out my hand to stop my fall. Not good. Well, I hope the operation goes well. I really do. I hope you're not in hospital too long either. Hopefully it's just the day. Right, so let me just do a couple of these so we can just randomly mix it up a little bit. Now obviously Hayley's going to share the websites later, but if you check out the website, I am adding things as we go.
Do you want me to do that while you're finishing the cutting?
Yeah, you can do.
Okay, I shall go and grab your website. Just bear with me. There you go. And here is Sasha's website. So she has various sections. She's got the tools, she's got the project bundles, patterns, fabrics. So I'm guessing the fabrics you're using will be in here somewhere. So we've got the bumbleberries in there. Ooh, which bit's that in? It's in where? Wadding and interfacing. So if I head here, oh, there's the polytherm that you used in the mug rug. And there's the Lamifix there as well. You're welcome.
Once you get used to a rotary cutter, they are scary things to start off with.
I'm in the scissor club. I'm just not careful enough.
Really?
Oh yeah. I nearly took the whole tip of my finger off. It was only the fingernail that stopped it.
Oh my goodness.
So no, I'm no longer allowed rotary cutters.
So I had in my classes, I find that like with these rotary cutters, okay, where you have to actually retract the blade yourself, I have a fine pot, and if I find any of my ladies or gents that have got their rotary blade out, they have to put 50p in the fine pot, because I had a lady about 8 years ago that dropped her rotary cutter off of the table onto her foot, and she was wearing sandals, and it stuck in her toe like that. And ever since then, I think that if I come along and I pick something up and your blade is out and I cut my hand, or you knock it off or I knock it off, so yeah, you get fined now. I'm mean, aren't I? Right, so we're going to start laying this out, and as I say, it's just about playing around. So let me just move you here. I tend to do this in blocks of 4. I quite like doing them in blocks of 4 because I would then join the 4 together, and then
do you know very odd, Sasha, because when you cut them out, they didn't look square. But now
I know.
you're
Now-
laying them out.
And they're all
Magic.
square. It is, isn't it? I think as well, because this one is so busy and it is all sorts of geometric shapes and things like that. So we're going to join this together quickly. Have we got time to join this together?
Yeah, join
Hayley?
it together, and then where Natasha's basically kicked all the children off the Wi-Fi, and we're good.
Perfect. So as I say, I like to join them into fours. You don't have to, but I like to join them into fours. Now, you're going to join your pairs together. So anything you're going to join number 1 to number 2, you're going to join number 3 to number 4, and then you're going to join them across that middle seam. That's the way I like to do it. I like to work in pairs. So we are going to go right sides together. Like so. It does work for a really, really nice, clear, quick block as well. Then we're going to join that one to that one.
Were you thinking about our rainbow rolls for this one?
Sorry?
Were you thinking about our rainbow rolls for this one?
I think that the rainbow rolls would be perfect.
Do you know
And
what?
then
I'm
if you-
sure in the corridor
then
I have a
you
quilt that
wanted to-
uses that similar rail fence pattern. Let me go and see if I can find it, and I will come back for when we're all
Because
together.
if you wanted to, you could have like a plain one as well if you wanted to mix it up. They don't need to be all various colours and various, really out there designs. You can have them as you want them. But I think, as Hayley was saying, I think it would work perfectly for them. Because they just work so well, and they are such an amazing price. So I'm just doing seam now. My seams, obviously, I'm putting one to the left, one to the right, so when they meet together, come on guys, who's on here from my 6 p.m? One of my seams to the left, one to the right, and what are they doing? Somebody will say it in a minute. We're on a delay. They're having a little bit of a
I had disappeared to go and get quilts to show you another couple of rail fence options.
Perfect. Having a cuddle. Betty's in there. Sandra's having a snuggle. There we go. See?
What have I missed?
So when we put our seams one to the left, one to the right, I always say they're having a snuggle.
Nesting seams. Okay. I was like, oh my God, what's she done now?
They're having a little clutch. Christine would say, having a nuggle. Right, so we're just joining this long seam now, which is through the centre. Do you know, this is the same desk from upstairs, but everything seems so far away. I don't know why, whether it's
Because you've tidied, Sasha.
Do you know what? People are not going to believe how tidy this is. I have drawers and I have stuff in drawers organised.
Yeah, but from the ADHD point of view, I can tell you, I'm going to pop your bubble here. It doesn't last.
It won't last. It won't last. And the fact that I've got empty shelves above me, because I quite like them empty, but the stuff in the boxes have a lid, so
you can't see it. Just no, that's in a box. It's tidied into a box.
Is it? Yeah. It's great because actually, if I could live without a lounge, because all my boxes are samples, all my boxes are sample fabrics, everything is in the lounge, in boxes, all over my floor, all over my sofa. And actually, I quite like a clear craft room, so I'm just going to give up my lounge. I'm just not going to have a lounge. And Lily said to me the other night,
it's just crafting space now.
Lily said to me the other night, are we actually going to have our lounge back at any time? I was like, yeah, all right, it's only been a week. She was like, oh, sorry, I'll remind you in 6 weeks, shall I?
Rude.
Like, okay, when you're on your days off from college.
You could always tidy some of it up when you've
I think
got a day off from
someone's
college.
suffering a bit of baby jealousy at the moment.
Oh, do you think that's what it is?
I think so. Liz, Hayley, your sticky strips have changed my cheap ruler into a super duper ultra safe ruler. Wow.
Right.
Into a super duper ruler. Just cut 300 very small squares with no slippage in less than an hour.
Yeah. So we don't know about these yet.
And Sarah said, "Oh, I am getting really desperate to get them as soon as Hayley has them back in stock."
You haven't even seen these yet.
No, I haven't.
So
I'm feeling a bit miffed off now, to be quite honest.
Like you've missed out. These are little sticky strips. You know, when the paper people were on, and they had stamps, and it's made out of the same stuff as those stamps, but it's kind of reusable, washable, so it re-sticks. It's like a photo polymer, and it's really thin. You stick it onto your rulers. I haven't got any yet, so don't go looking for them. I'm waiting for some more to come. Well, it'll come, and then we've got to cut them all out. But you put them down onto your fabric, and it kind of grips your fabric, stops your ruler sliding about.
Oh wow! When are you getting it back in? So it's not on there now?
It's not on there. It's not on there now. Well, that's why I said hang fire. They're not on there now, but they are coming back really, really soon. I'm just waiting because we had to get them bespoke manufactured, these kind of like sheets of just random sticky stuff, because nobody orders just the sheet of sticky stuff. They all have it made into a design for a stamp. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm waiting for my sticky sheets coming.
Wow. And Sarah, Sarah from White Gecko has just said the lounge is now called the Warehouse.
Oh, that's a different Sarah.
Oh, is it?
No, I think that's a different Sarah.
Is that a different Sarah?
Yeah, because she's Sarah Keir Smith.
Oh, she is.
There is a Sarah Jane at White Gecko, so I don't know. It's all the.
I don't know. Maybe that is. Anyway, if you're not from White Gecko, you've now been said that you are. So.
But
here we
finished.
go. Ta-da! Look how effective that is. So obviously we are going into fours. It's Sarah. It's not me. No, it's not you. Okay. I'm tired. Okay.
It's all right. We're nearly there. Don't worry. Don't worry. We're nearly
there.
So
if you can imagine with all of these blocks together, it just works beautifully. It really does. So there we go. That is your rail fence.
Right. Let me just switch back. We do have a much clearer Natasha, but while we get her back in shot, I have got a couple of other rail fence ones here, because you did mention it. So this one, exactly the same principle. If you're a complete beginner, if you do 4 strips, put the coloured ones in the centre, so all your joins, where are the joins, there it is, are on white, that hides an absolute multitude of sins. Just so many sins hidden by that. So that's a really good option for you, and that's our sky blue pink roll for that one.
It's almost like you've done that faux sashing.
Yes, and then
really good thing to do.
This one's a bit of a whopper, so I don't know how much of this one I can get. Oh, there's a quarter of it. That'll do. So that one again has used 4 strips, and then depending on how you turn them and you put them together, you can kind of create patterns within patterns in there as well. So that's exactly the same principle. I think this one is still on the website. That's 4 rolls together, and it's such a brilliant quilt to start you off with, because literally you just do all 4 rolls together. Perfect. Up down, so easy, and there's 12 meters on a roll, so it really gets some good practice of straight stitching.
It is, and it comes together so quickly as well, and they are such good value.
I just need to locate Natasha, because I've got her board, but not her. I'll give her a quick text. We'll find her. We can chat amongst her. Oh no, she's there! You need to flip the other way up. No, you're fine now, Natasha. You are crystal clear. I think kicking all the kids off the Wi-Fi. Well, not all the kids. There's only 2. But yeah, kicking the kids off the Wi-Fi has done the trick. That's the only problem with a Sunday afternoon, isn't it? Oh, hang on. I don't think I've got any sound on you. bear with, caller. Let me see if I can fix that for you. Let me try that one. Are you back? Just talk for me, Natasha.
I'm here. Hello.
Hey!
Yay! I'm not
dear.
going to change my screen, Hayley.
Okay, well, I think you're all right too, because we are super crystal clear on you now.
You are really clear.
I daren't change a thing. So I'm going to stick it here,
Okay,
and then I'm going to demo from here.
right.
You don't
fine.
need to see my mug. It's not about my face.
It is all yours then.
It's all about the pretty fabrics. So they are such beautiful fabrics. These are. I'm going to work with the greys and the limes because they're beautiful, and they will be coming to you with this, which is your grey wax. Very, very beautiful. So we're going to start making the waxed base drawstring caddy. Now you can. Those that watch me regularly know that I made one the other day. So half of my things are in it up there. So when I keep losing things, like where is it? It's because it's in my caddy that I made. And then yeah, my makeup also is in the other one. So like you can put makeup in it, cosmetics in it, which is fabulous. And so I did, and I keep forgetting that I have. Whoops. And yeah, which is not very useful, but it does look great. And actually, it will be useful.
I'm going to move
when I
your
take it back
website
upstairs.
up to the top out the way so that you can, you've got a bit more space to demonstrate at the bottom, because I've got a feeling that that little strap at the bottom there, which with your website on, is just blocking out a little bit of what you're up to. So I'm going to just move that for you. You can keep going. I'm just going to move it.
Okay. So I have got my wax folded in half. I'm going to cut 2 squares. And you'll see that from that I then have all of that left to do all sorts of other goodies with. Okay. And the reason that this wax is great, firstly, because it's fabulous to sew with. Secondly, it's a lovely colour. And thirdly, you get lots of it and it's free. So
Is it waterproof?
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't love a waterproof bottom?
Well, exactly. It's completely waterproof. Like I say, when you buy your barber coats, jackets, bags, this is the fabric that it's made from. This is it. Okay. So what we're going to do is out of each corner, I've got these doubled up. So I've got 2 large squares. All of these measurements are in your instructions. So if you want to grab those, and that's great, then you've got them. What I'm going to do is then cut a square out of each. Do you know what, Hayley, just listening to you about your non-slip grippy things, I was really, really lucky because I started out with Creative Grids, and they have that inbuilt non-slip grip.
Yeah,
Even on
they
wax
do.
fabric. But I would have been so annoyed if I hadn't known about Creative Grids and I had a whole stash of quilting rulers that I'd bought elsewhere and then, didn't feel safe to use. So if you've got a way around that so that people don't have to buy all new rulers, that's really good.
Well, what we did was we made them because we cut a lot of our own rulers, and that was one of the things, and that's one of the reasons I was no longer using rotary cutters, because I just can't be trusted. Simply cannot be trusted.
I remember Jenny Raymond, a decade ago, trying to teach me how to cut with a rotary cutter and a ruler, because everything I did, like yours, with scissors, and I didn't quilt then. And I was just like, no, Jenny, that's not the one for me. No. And then I discovered Creative Grids, and it changed everything because it's got it built in, so everything is safe.
It's got like a textured back, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's got an inbuilt non-slip grip, so you can see there's that texture to it. But again, if you've already bought rulers, you don't want to have to double buy. So
and
if you
these
found a
little-
way that you can utilise the rulers you've already got.
The little
Brilliant.
grips are not very expensive either. They're like £2 or £3, and you can
Yeah.
cut them into smaller bits. So if you've got smaller rulers, you can still use them. But they are magical. And yes, we are getting them back soon, but not today, people.
Not today, no. So now we've got two crosses. And what we're going to do, there's not really a right or a wrong way with this particular wax. Look, I'll move all of these. And of course, keep these because you can use that somewhere else. But it really, just going to see if I've got, here we go. When you say, is it waterproof? Let me just show you this. Can you see that?
It's like it's pre-odor coated.
Yeah. And I love eau de
I'm
Cologne.
just now wondering where you're going to put that so you don't spill it.
Thanks. So am I.
Is this one of those times where you kind of haven't thought that all the way through?
Yeah.
Okay.
It might be going on the floor. I'm having
Okay.
something else in it later.
Do I need to go look on your website quickly while you? Oh no, you're sorted. That's fine.
It's fine. It's fine. We're all good. We're all good. You can't see on my floor, so we're all good.
Okay.
These are fabulous. I've snapped mine, which is very, very, very annoying. But it was a great way to just mark a 1/4 of an inch. You're going to want to mark a 1/4 of an inch along here. Now, if you've got some sort of pokey tool or something, the great thing about the wax is that it just marks so that you can see it. And here's me going, where are all my things? Again, here we go. But otherwise, just use your ruler. Sometimes you can just kind of score along there. Can you see it highlights it? And then you can fold it over. And we're going to fold over by a 1/4 of an inch on one of them, which is going to be this outer one here. Okay. And we'll sew that down. So I'll just score that so that I need to. This is where wax is brilliant, because on fabrics, normal cottons, you can't really do that. And this is a cotton under, a cotton fabric underneath that wax, but that just marks it so that I can see what I'm doing, and then I can just fold it on that score line. I didn't think to do this until just now. Oh, that works brilliantly. And so then I'm going to sew just down there. I can't switch my screen from here because we've had to come off our normal Wi-Fi and go on to something else. So I'm going to very, very
While you
quickly.
stitch that, do you want me to hop onto your website then?
Sorry?
While you're stitching, do you want me to hop onto your website?
Yeah, go on then.
All right, then I will. So there are the tipsy blenders that we saw before. Let me just go and grab the. Ooh. Oh, and that's a point. Is it within your patterns? Because I've still got the Sunday brunch fabric. Oh. It's going so well today. Isn't it? We're doing so well today. So these are some of the Tilda fabrics. These are the Sunday brunch collections, and it's one of the Sunday brunch collections that Natasha is using for the bag. But what I do need to know from her is where is the pattern. So I'm going to go. Okay, search is up over here. Waxed base. Oh, spell it right. There you go. There you go. So then you've got two options there. You've got the waxed base, the printed version and the download version. Obviously, download version you can get straight away, but if you're going to be using the waxed fabric, which you'll be ordering from Natasha, then you might have to wait till that arrives. But there you go. It's back with you. Have you paused or have... Oh no, you've gone black. Oh, 1 second. Right, let me just pop that back to Natasha's website while I... Oh, she's disappeared. Luckily, these guys are still here and they can help me out until she comes back. See, I've got the bun up now because I'm concentrating and pressing so many buttons at once. So Natasha seems to have temporarily disappeared. This is fine. We can deal with this. So, Michelle's just laughing. I don't think she realised what she was quite letting ourselves into for this. But it's one of those things, you know, we've got several people. Hey, she's back in the room.
Ah, where did I go?
I don't know, but you're back now. So I shall put it straight back to you because obviously you're in the middle of a demonstration.
It's funny, I suddenly had the full screen. I was like, oh, this is great. Oh.
You just went black and disappeared, but now you're back,
Oh,
so it's all good. Is this the Sunday brunch fabric, and which colourway is this one?
This is the grey one.
I couldn't find that on your website, I don't think. Let me have another look. Have you stopped again?
No. I'm trying to find it as well. When you say that, I'm like, oh no, hang on. What?
Hang on.
It is there, I promise you. Promise you.
Right, here we go.
It is the grey and yellow one.
Ah, right, that's fine.
You got it.
I hadn't spotted it. Yes, it was because the yellow was on the top.
Yeah, grey and yellow. And it's very, very pretty. Very, very pretty. But if you have a directional fabric, what I would say is put it in the direction that you want it to be in and then flip it. And we're going to sew along here. And we're going to do that on each of them. Do you want to show them our website again, Hayley, while I do this? Oh,
because there's only one bit of audio that comes through, and unfortunately it's only me. So this is the grey version that you can see that Natasha's using at the minute, and that includes that matching grey waxed fabric as well, with an absolutely killer deal on that one. And then the patterns that she was just talking about, apparently if you go for the pattern, so to find the pattern you can either search in patterns on here, or you can go to the search bar, and if you just even type in waxed, it will pop up there as the waxed drawstring caddy. So this is the printed version, but if you get that downloadable version, if there's ever an update to that pattern, that will come through to you automatically free of charge. You don't have to go back to the website to do that. It will come to you free of charge. Natasha looks like she's got one more side to do. There you go. And she's back.
I'm back. I'm nearly back.
I've
got one more line of stitching to sew.
And I'm just looking at the finished sample ones. You've been very busy.
Here we go. So, this is the beauty of the wax. You just fold it back. It's so lovely. I haven't changed my needle. I haven't done anything special at all here. Not at all. Nothing special. It's just so nice to work with. I sew in a 80 or a 90. I couldn't tell you which because I buy 100 packets of both and then I never know which one's which. I just interchange. But that sews with everything. There we go. So this is where we are at. So we've got the pockets that are going to go on top in a minute, but this is going to be a drawstring pouch. Now, I don't know about you, but sometimes when you have a drawstring pouch, there's too much to draw up, and it gets a little bit busy. So what we're going to do is we're going to put little bits all the way around. So we're going to create these now. Okay, and these create the channels effectively for what we are going to do, which I think I just threw on the floor helpfully.
It's just like mini tab top curtains then.
Like a mini what?
Like a mini tab top curtain.
Yeah.
Yeah, just lots of mini tabs.
Yeah. So I cut off my fabric a 5-inch strip, which is what I've done all of these from. One width of fabric, 5-inch strip. And I interfaced enough for those 4 pieces. The rest of that strip was left uninterfaced because we want it to be able to crunch up to be part of that drawstring. And then what I've done, I folded it in half, then folded the edges into the middle, pressed it. So it's as if we're making binding. Okay, and then we stitch down both sides, and we're going to make those little channels. Okay, I tend to sew on the side that has the 2 folds first, and then they can be nicely aligned. So that's the one that had the 2 folds. Sewn down that one first, speedy sewer, and then we'll sew down that side, and then we subcut them. So it's, you know, as Sasha was saying, subcutting so useful, really useful, saves an awful lot of time, because if I was having to factor out making these individually, oh, we'd all be bored. So I want to cut these into little 2-inch strips next. Stripology rulers, guys, if you are scared to use your rotary cutter, this was a game changer for me, because and we sell these on the website. If you look at the Stripology XL, it's got that non-slip grip underneath it all the way through, and you just line it. I've lined up along there, that top edge, so it's all straight. Every half an inch, you've got a slot in there with a little teardrop shape at the bottom. So I put my ruler in there, press down, because then that activates that non-slip grip. Press down and just cut. I can't do anything but cut straight. You can't, because your blade is in that channel and it cannot go anywhere other than straight. You can cut your own jelly rolls, charm packs, everything. It's a game changer, absolute game changer. They say that, you know, you can't buy time, but you can buy a Stripology ruler, and that's basically the same thing. It's the only thing. So we're going to put that one back to one side, and then we're going to get these back out, and we're going to place these along the top. We will base these in place. And what I can't remember is how far away. Oh, hello, there's a small person at the door. Hello, small person. Are you behaving yourself? Are you? Are you sure? Are you sure you're sure?
We don't mind extra people joining in. It's fine. Usually there's, if Daisy and Grace are on, there's a cat somewhere involved at some point. And I haven't quite managed to get my ducks in yet, but it'll happen soon.
I mean, I've managed to get ducks in. I'm not going to lie. When Dave was a duckling, he came on the show because we made him his own bum bag. Because he was an only duckling.
You've got to kind of carry them around with you. I've had a couple of those in work. Just there's a duck in a box.
Yeah.
And then if you go out of sight of the duck in the box, all hell breaks loose. If you go out of sight of the duck in the box.
I ended up, well, he wouldn't settle by himself, so we made him the bum bag, which was effectively like putting him under a wing. So we just used to snuggle down into the bum bag. And on our, if you ever have a look on our website at our patterns, our bum bag pattern has Dave on the front.
Hang on.
And I used to do the school
I'm
run,
guessing
Emily,
you're going to have to go and do some sewing in a second anyway, so I'm going to go and find it.
Yeah. Whilst you search for Dave. So I was the crazy mum, wasn't I, that did the school run with a duck in a bum bag.
Is it the crossbody one?
No, the other one. You'll see Dave on the front cover.
Okay, hang on. I'm still looking. I've just searched for bum, and that's the only one that's coming up.
Wow, there it is.
No, that's the only one that's coming up. Is the crossbody one? Let me have a look. Would it be called? Did you give it another name? Let me see if I can find it.
I don't know. No, it should have just been a bum bag.
Hang on a second. Oh, I found it.
What did we call it?
Just bum bag. I didn't click show all. It was my fault. Bear with me.
There you go. Yeah.
While you're pinning them on, here you go. Dave in a bum bag. No, Dave. But I'll be honest. It is by far the easiest way to deal with them. It's to just.
But it is, isn't it?
Whack them in a pocket. Just off you go.
Yeah. And that was it. So Dave bonded with our spaniel, and so once they bonded, that was fine because Dave and Mabel just used to snuggle up in his bed together.
That's fine, as long as they've got something else to snuggle with. Because we've had single ones, and we're kind of sitting on the sofa watching telly at night, and there's just a duck jumping up between you.
Yeah.
And then they get big, and then they begin to poop a lot.
Everywhere. Yeah. So then Josh said to me, "Can't you make a duck nappy?" Which is apparently a thing because he found me some ducks in nappies.
I've seen them. I don't know how keen I am on that.
No, and the other thing is that anything that we make, I try and make it have some sort of universal appeal, and I do feel that maybe like duck nappies is a little bit niche.
Yeah. And also, it depends on the type of duck, because if you've got a runner, that's a different shape. So an Aylesbury is a different shape to a pole.
Emily, excuse me, darling, I need to kind of be there. Then you do sort of need to get into the realms of sizing, making them the right size, which is tricky. Not gonna lie. So we didn't do that. Do you know what, Emily? Should I have top stitched anywhere along the line? No, you can if you want to. If you want to top stitch sort of and hold that, then you can. But what we're going to do now is put it together. So let's have this round this way. So you've got your seams so you've got the wrong side onto the right side here. Like so, and then we're just going to fold them up on their side like so.
If you wanted to pin, what is the waxed fabric like with pins? Is a question.
You can pin it. I would clip it. You can pin it, but you will make a mark. But that doesn't mean to say that you can't get rid of the mark. Like I say, with any of these things, with the waxes, any marks that you don't want. I like the marks because I like that sort of aged waxed look. But if there's any time that you don't like the marks, you just get either a Teflon pressing sheet or your wax parchment sheets that you bake on.
Yeah, would a greaseproof paper do it?
Yeah, exactly that. Just greaseproof paper.
Extra hands.
Little extra hands on the show.
This doesn't happen on your normal ones.
No, it doesn't, because they're safely in school.
See, again, anything goes in a secret sewing. We have no rules here. Is this because we've kicked them off the Wi-Fi?
So when you've sewn down one, like that, you then realign for...
So would you do opposite corners first, or would you work your way around like in a clockwise or anti-clockwise?
I just work my way round.
Okay.
It just, because it's not like you're ever going to get to a stage where it's a straight line. Because what we're doing, I kind of know what you're getting at. We've done one side like that. So I just work my way around, get the next one. Where I clip is at that seam. It can interlock, it can nest, or however. What did Sasha call it?
Sasha's were snuggling or cuddling or cutching.
Do they snuggle or cuddle or something like that? So if you want snuggly seams, then you can do your snuggly seams. And that's absolutely fine.
allows us all to work a bit more together, because sometimes there's, you know, somebody's got something on their website or somebody hasn't got something on their website that they're working with that then somebody else has, and this gives us a much better platform to say, oh, well, I haven't got it, but if you head over here, they have, and things. And we were saying that on Thursdays, a lot of people kind of switching back and forth between all sorts of different things, but it's all good. It is all good.
It's good. It's so good. Emily, can you not do that, please? Because I can't hear if you're making that noise in the background. Go on, out you go, please. Go and watch a DVD or something. You're just hungry. Brilliant. No, we're not having a conversation about because you have you finished your dinner? Did you actually? Okay. Right. All right then. That blows that argument out the water then, doesn't it?
This is what happens in real life, though, when people are trying to sew and things like this. So we don't mind. We don't mind these at all.
The constant request for snacks is real. Honestly, that's it. And normally it's well, if you'd have eaten all your lunch, you wouldn't be hungry now. However, she now tells me she has, so that's my argument blown straight out of the water. But this is it, isn't it? This is how it
well,
really
this is real life. There's always something else going on, isn't there?
Oh, I'm amazed I haven't had 18 animals come through.
There was a cat when we first logged in. There was a ginger cat.
That is my beautiful Malcolm. And Malcolm is probably the most handsome cat you will ever meet. Might be slightly biased.
Is he
but
friendly,
he's just,
though? Because I've met some quite unfriendly cats.
It's not that he's unfriendly, he's just insanely shy. We call him the lesser spotted Malcolm because you don't see him very often. Okay. And it's a bit of a privilege when you do see him. Apart from this morning, he was trying to be a pirate and he just climbed on my back whilst I was doing some hand stitching. I'm like, right, I can't now move. I did that classic cat owner thing. There was, he's comfortable, therefore I can't move. Even though I was like this with him on my back. And he was on my shoulders, and I was like, this is ridiculous. What is happening here?
It sounds like there's a full-on zoo going on.
Look, there it is. Just look at him. He's like, I'm just going to perch on your back.
Send it through. I'll put it up full screen.
Just ridiculous. I've got no makeup. That was me in my pajamas.
It's all right. We've done secret sewing clubs in pajamas. We had between Christmas and New Year, we had a pajama one.
Oh, I just love pajamas.
You can do it in pajamas. We don't mind. If that's what you want.
I know that we've gone slightly strange fashion-wise. You know, when you look at how smart men always used to be, and then sort of some men's fashions and whatnot, but there is the right thing has been surely pajamas being more socially acceptable.
Well, that lockdown's got a lot to answer for that, hasn't it?
So this is, if I'm going to turn this through the right way, this is your outer. Have I got another demo time in a bit, Hayley, or am I all demoed out? Well, all I will do is, if I show you then, this is the outer bit done. Da-da-da. How gorgeous is that? How lovely does that wax look with it? It's a bit special. There you go. And we'll do the lining when we come back. Got to turn it back around now. You got everybody.
I'm done. Oh, come come on. I've got 2 gold stars today. I'm doing good. And also, did you actually spot me just moving 2 cabinets? I am literally like stealth. I am like a ninja. I am like a ninja.
Every time. You can go and move another 2 cabinets, and I will let Michelle get her second demo in, because we've been jumping about all over the place today. It's not, I mean, we do a running order.
Yeah, I was really impressed by that.
One day
Really?
we will
Do we,
stick to
Hayley?
it.
Do we? Do we ever stick
No.
to it on days that
No,
I'm
because
on?
stuff happens, and if people have got technical problems, then somebody else will jump in, and then we'll move it all around, and we never get to the times we're supposed to get to, but it's close enough, and it makes us feel like it's going to be fine. It never is.
Yeah.
Right, Michelle. What have
Hello.
you got for us this time? Because last time...
Right,
we
we'll
didn't
move
leave
on
the
to
flower.
our hedgerow fairies. So this is the kit. I will show you the box. There you go. Well, this was actually a request from a lot of people who asked me for a kit that they could do with their kids and their grandchildren. My husband's laughing. He's flipping away at the buttons, and then one minute you see my face, and the next minute you see a box, and then you see my face. And anyway, here we go. Back to it. So
It
this
looks great, don't you
and
worry.
a lot of
You're
people
doing a
ask me
fine
for something
job.
they could do with their grandkids, something they could do with their kids, something a little bit simpler that children could achieve something with them, of course, because there's still some sewing and stuff involved. So this was my answer to that. And I just wanted to mention this because I forgot to say about this earlier. As a special, as this is our first time on the Secret Sewing Club, I wanted to offer every viewer here 15% off on my Etsy site. You'll need that voucher code SSC15. Okay, so that's live on there for the next week. So, you know, if there was anything you fancied, you're going to get 15% off.
And if you want to head to Michelle's Etsy site, you can either use the QR code that's in the top corner of the screen, or I've put the address on the bottom there, the etsy.co.uk, etsy.com/UK/shop, and then /sew Thimble Wood. So you can either use the QR, it will take you directly there, or type that in that's just below.
I'm just going to pop that somewhere where you might be able to still see it.
Actually, once you've finished your demo, Michelle, I will pop over to that so people can see that you've got way more than just the couple that we're showing you today.
Okay, no problem.
Brilliant.
Right, so we'll get on. I'll open the box up so you can have a quick sneaky look in there. Again, we've got the instructions, professionally printed once again. You know, lots of colour photos, those full-size templates, they're all there. And in this one, we've got all your wool blend felts on this side, your beads that are used for the heads. And this is macrame cord. So this is what these little yarn dolls are made from. Let me get that off the table so I can show you the doll itself. I did 4 different dolls for that kit. We've got that one's based on a buttercup. This one is a snowdrop. This one is a daffodil. Okay. And the one I'm going to show you a bit more of and we're going to make is the bluebell. So I'm going to move those out of the way because otherwise we're going to get very confused. As you can see, their main bodies are actually just made of yarn. So, you know, there's less sewing involved because the only thing we're going to be sewing is the dress and the little accessories. So the main doll, excuse me, while I go up inside her skirt, is made of lots of yarn. Her legs are made of yarn, her arms are made of yarn, her head is a bead, and her hair is also the yarn. And
does
what
that one have a name?
Pardon?
Does the fairy have a name?
Well, but I just called her Bluebell. My husband's sitting here. He's suggesting Brian.
She's now you've just exposed her to the world. I'm going to call her Sasha.
Okay, fair enough. This is obviously a joke I'm not party to, but you know,
it's not very complicated. It's not very complicated. Just whenever Sasha's on, she manages to somehow expose herself.
Okay, well I'm perfectly decent today. I've got a good top on. There we go. I don't
Thank
think what
you.
we say.
I do appreciate it, but now it is now called Sasha.
So I'm going to put Sasha down there. There you go, where you can still see her. And we're going to go a little bit through the yarn and stuff. And the yarn I'm using is macrame cord. The reason I'm using this, you could just use use string. I used to do this with my nan when I was a kid, and I just use any bits of wool that she had left over, any bits of, you know, anything I can get my hands on really, and make these little yarn dolls. But for this one, I'm using macrame thread, and the reason for that is because macrame thread will shred down into sort of individual little strands. It's made up of lots of strands, so that's how you get this nice effect of this very sort of full skirt. So if you want that sort of soft effect for the skirt and the hair, then you do need to be using macrame cord. And as you can see, I've laid out on my table here all the different bits of macrame cord that you need. The instructions are going to show you, you know, what you need to cut, the lengths and everything there. But I've prepared these already, so you don't have to watch me snipping away at some cord for a while. So we're going to use this, which is just some baker's twine. This is going to be the cord that is used to hang her up. So that's the bit that's coming out the top of her head. Okay, we need another piece. All the lengths are in the booklet. I believe it's 18 inches long. This is going to be the joining cord. So this is going to be a piece of cord that goes all the way down through her body that joins everything up together. We're going to cut, I believe it's 8 pieces here. Yeah, 8 pieces for her hair. We've got 20 pieces that are going to make up a dress. And then these are actually still a macrame cord. These are a thicker cord. This is a 5mm macrame cord in a dark green. These are going to be her arms and legs. Now you only need 1 piece for the legs and 1 piece for the arms, because it's going to double over like that. With this thicker macrame cord, it has a tendency to fray really badly. So you need to get a knot in there pretty quickly. As soon as you've cut it, put a knot in. So just a simple knot like that. And then you can kind of pull it up to the end of the cord. Cut it to length first, the length that's in the pattern, and then move your knot up to the end. I'm just going to knot that one as well. Otherwise she has some very frayed arms and legs and it looks a bit odd. Okay, so arms and legs. And she's going to have a bead for her head. This is just a wooden bead. It's 2.5 centimeters or 1 inch diameter wooden bead. So we're going to make a start, and we need a really rather important tool. It's one of those, a paper clip. So pretty simple. And we're going to destroy the paper clip to start with, pulling it out like that. So now, I don't know if you can see that, if that's close enough. Ooh, there you go. I'm going to just pull it out. Now I've kept that smaller end intact, and I've opened out the longer end.
Just
okay.
While you're adjusting that, I've got a question from Tracy. She says, hello Michelle, what age group would you say this would be for?
Age group. Well, if you're going to do it with a child, they could probably manage this from about 4 or 5 even. I've actually taught this in a sort of an open workshop situation. I did have some really very young children. They did have their parents with them helping them, but they were able to make these little dolls. I'd suggest if they're doing it sort of with less supervision, you're going to be looking more at your 9-10-year-old, something like that would be the starting age. Okay, so I'm going to carry on. I'm going to push. I need to just straighten that out a little bit more. He's not going to go through. I'm going to push that smaller end of the paper clip through my bead. Okay, and I'm going to take that baker's twine, which is what I'm using to hang up, and this, which is my joining cord. Now for this joining cord, I don't really want this thickness. It's a bit too chunky. So I am going to, actually, I'll do it at the other end because I've already started that end. I'm going to twist against the grain. I might need to bring this up quite close for you to see. Twist against the grain, and those strands separate. So we've got 4 strands in there that make up that piece of cord. Okay, and I just want one of those. So I'm going to hold on, not one of the tiny ones. See, they separate again into like, oh, I don't know, 20 or so. You don't want to pull out one of those tiny ones. You want to pull out one of these chunkier 4, and just slowly pull it, and it should just pull out. You might need to ease it down if it gets a bit stuck. There you go. So I've now pulled out one cord. I'm going to just put that to one side for now. And that is all we need to do the joining, is that one piece. So I'm going to put together both of my joining and my hanging cords. Okay, so I've just got them together, and I'm going to hang them off that hoop. That it's not a hoop, is it? What is it? It's like a loop in the paper clip. You see, I've got those there, and it's kind of in the middle, more or less. And I'm going to use that paper clip just to pull it through the ball. That's all the paper clip is for. I'm going to get rid of the paper clip now. So it's surprisingly difficult to get those through that bead by threading it. You don't want to get a darning needle and thread it and pull it through. It's just too much effort. So that little hook just helps you get it straight through your bead. Okay. Now we can go on to carry on with our doll. I'm going to just pull that a little bit more. Obviously don't keep pulling because there's nothing to stop that bead coming off the other end. You'll just end up with it on the floor. So we're going to start with this little loop. We're going to put through, first of all, her legs. So that's the longer of the two green cords that we had. And so I've got my bead in my hand. I'm just keep using my finger to open that loop up. I'm just going to drop that through. You want to get them more or less even. It doesn't have to be too bad at the moment. We'll sort her out later so she's not lopsided. The next thing we need is all of her dress strands. So all 20 at once I'm going to shove through there. It's a little bit fiddly, but we'll be able to do it. Now, and I've done exactly the same. I'm just going to move that out of the way for a second. So we got the legs, went through first. The dress is just sitting on top. At this stage, we can push that bead down a bit and it kind of, plonks them in together. So you got, just a reminder, the legs at the bottom. This is the point where you can adjust them to make sure the leg sort of right length. She hasn't got one leg shorter than the other. Okay. And the dress, yeah, more or less in the center is good enough. Now we are going to take away those two hanging loop cords. We're just going to drop those out of the way because we don't need those at the moment. And then we're going to separate back open the joining cords. That's that single strand that we pulled of that lavendery coloured cord. And this is where we take her hair. So we've got a nice big lump of hair there. And we're going to place it between those two cords. Okay, so at the moment it all looks a bit weird. The hair's all down in front of her face, the dress is all off to one side, her legs are showing. Oh, it's a state. But put that in there, and then we're going to tie a knot, the same as like an overhand knot, what you tie when you're starting your shoelaces. And at this point, you want to pull pretty tight. You don't want to, cut the blood off to her legs, but you don't want it to be floppy. You want this to feel quite firm in here. So one knot. I'm just checking the length of her hair because I think I've left her hair a little bit short on one side. I'm just going to adjust that before I tie it up too much. That's it. That's better. So one knot and then a second knot. Okay, so two overhand knots on top of each other and give them a nice tug. Now you can drop this down now to be part of her hair. And that's the reason why we used this same colour as her hair to be the joining cord, because it just blends in with her hair. And it'll blend in even more a bit later when I show you the next stage. Now I need to return to those hanging cords. Give them a little tug as well. Make sure they're coming up through. And this is really simple. All we're going to do is going to tie a knot in the end. It doesn't matter that I've got one longer than the other. You can see that I've got one long bit because you can just trim it off and make it neat. There. So she now has her hanging loop completely done. But bless her, she's not looking great at the moment, but don't panic, we'll get there. Okay. The next thing we want to do, so her hair's sort of going in that direction, her body's going in that direction. We want to give it a twist. So you're just doing a 90-degree twist so that her dress now sort of comes forwards like that. Don't worry that her legs are now kind of one on top of each other. That's fine. You're not going to notice that when she's done. But we do need that dress to be all facing forwards. You do have to spend a bit of time neatening and getting everything into the shape you want it to be. At the moment, bless her, she's got no arms. So we need to get those arms in position. I'll bring the arms back in. What we do is we take about 10 of these ones at the front up. Oh, I got there. I've only got 5. That's 5. So I'm going to choose those because they're kind of sitting on the top. 6, 7. Some from the sides here. 8, 9, 10. So about the top 10 of those dress pieces, I've now pulled up in front of her face. Not that she's got one yet, bless her. And the arms, I'm literally just going to place them on there in that little parting that we've made. They're just placed. Okay, I've not glued them, stuck them, anything, they're just placed. Now we're going to drop all of those dress pieces back over the arms. Again, spend a bit of time neatening it up now. It just makes your life a bit easier in the future. Right, now there's nothing in the world, if I picked her up, her arms are just going to drop straight out. There's nothing holding those in yet. So we need to give her a waistband that's going to both make her dress look a bit more attractive and hold her arms in place. Now remember at the start we pulled off the one piece of cord out of this 3. Right, well I've gone back to that now, and I'm just going to take another one strand out of here. So again, same way, I've picked the one strand and just pull it. Okay, so we don't need that bit, we want the one strand again. And this is what I'm going to wrap around her waist to be her waistband. Now, there's 2 ways of doing this. There's a really easy way and a really tricky way. But the tricky way gives great results. So I am going to show you the tricky way, but, you know, don't panic if you can't get it. You know, it is quite hard. There is an easier option that I'll show you straight after. So what we're going to do with this, we're going to bind around her waist. And we're going to use the same sort of knot that you'd use if you're making a tassel, or even if you've ever had your hair, the wraps put on your hair, it's the same sort of knot. So what we're going to do is lay that on there. You want this little tail to be down, I don't know, about knee height. We're going to put a loop sort of in front of her face. Now I've got to pick this up because I'm now going to wrap this that way, let's go over, tightly around her waist. And the only way to do this is to kind of grab it and put my thumb on it, and so it is going to be a bit harder to see. I will try my best to allow you to see what I'm doing. So I want to put my thumb on top of that to stop it moving around, and then I'm going to bind this, and at this point you've got to pull tight because this will not stay in if you don't pull tight. So I'm pulling as tight as I possibly can around that body, and I'm going to keep going until I've used up most of my cord. And I get another one just okay. So now I've wrapped it tight. So I've still got the little tail down here, I've still got the loop in front of her face, and this is the one that I've wrapped around. So the one I've wrapped around, I'm going to just poke up through that loop. Okay, so that is now poked through the loop, and I'm going to grab the tail as well. The first thing I'm going to do is pull gently on the tail, and you can see that that loop is starting to disappear. I'm pulling it from under the wraps, and now it's got hold of the one, and it's going to pull the one I had in my hand just now, the one that's been wrapped around, down underneath the wraps. So now that knot is down underneath. Okay, at this point you can tug on both ends. This is where I wish I'd left this a little bit longer. It's going to make my life hard. Tug on both ends really hard. You really do want to go as tight as you can. And I really have made my life difficult leaving it so short. There. I think we're there. Okay. Now you can cut those off, and she hopes it will stay tied, and you've got a really neat little waistband. I can see some tiny little bits that are just sticking out at the end. Anyone who knows me knows that I can't have things like that. I'm such a perfectionist. So I just use my scissors just to poke those in, and that will take those away. Now you just need to give her, I didn't poke it in enough. Let's poke it in. Bye bye little end. Now her bosom is a little bit lumpy and bumpy. We don't need that. So we just need to slowly pull on these until we get the offending strand that's causing the lump. It's going to be annoying. It's not going to be the one I want it to be, but as you can see, it is neatening up a little bit. It's this one here I'm trying to get rid of. Let's see if we can find him. There he is. Look at that. That's better. So now she's got a much nicer little bodice. There, she's looking tidy. Now, if you do struggle to do that nice little neat binding, the easy option is this. I'm just going to put it alongside so you can see. Literally, you take another bit of strand, you just wrap and wrap and wrap. Okay, and on the back, just tie a knot, and then, you know, we can hide the little knot on the back when we put our wings on. So that's your easy option if you struggle with that first one. But I quite like this method because it does leave a really nice, neat effect. Now, she's looking a bit straggly. She's looking like me earlier this morning. So we need to neaten her up. The first thing we're going to do is give that skirt a trim. So I want to take the legs out at the sides to absolutely make sure I don't accidentally cut her legs off. And then I'm going to go up to sort of the shortest one I've got, trimming all those pieces off. There we go. So she's now got a much neater looking skirt. And so now you can see how this is looking like a doll. I'm going to do the same with the hair this time. We're just going to get the hair all up and making sure you've pulled out that hanging loop. And we're going to give her a bit of a haircut. She's going to get a bit of a style later, so let's just neaten her up for now so she's not looking quite so sad. You can see if you were doing this with like the younger children, you know, when I was teaching this at the workshop to the really little kids who'd come along, they were happy at this stage. They had a little doll, they were delighted, they were off, you know. And so this is why it's such a great project for little ones, because they can get quite quickly to a result that they're happy with. Now you can see now, if we compare them, the hair looks completely different, because what I haven't done yet is untwazzled this. I don't know what the proper word is. It's not untwazzled, unwrapped, unwound. I don't know.
I like twazzled. I think you should stick with that.
Untwazzled. We'll go with twazzled.
It's good. I
Just
like it.
Twist it back against the grain and then get your fingernail in there and separate them off. Okay. And you just have to keep going with that. And because at the moment her hair looks a little bit sparse, it looks like there isn't enough, but believe me, that is the same amount of hair. You know, that's exactly the same amount of strands. It really bulks up when you separate them out. It takes a bit of time, so I'm only going to do a few to show you the idea. But you can see how, you know, the hair is starting to build.
Once you've untwazzled,
yeah,
can you run a comb or something through it, or would you not advise that?
Yeah, a little metal comb, if you've got one of those, is perfect. And yet you can comb it out with a comb. That is ideal. There we go. I'll just do a bit more.
By little metal comb, do you mean a knit comb?
No, not a knit comb. No, knit combs are a little bit too fierce, aren't they? No, just like the old-fashioned combs used to get. Even the sort of just the plastic comb, you know, the really basic sort of comb is.
Well, I was wondering on the teeth spacing. I didn't know if you meant like not a knit
comb. I think that might
spacing.
Pull it out too much.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, and then with the skirt, we're going to do the same. Now I've jumped ahead a bit because that takes some time. I'm going to swap my little doll over, and you can see how much a difference it makes when you've teased all that hair out. You know, it really does puff that skirt up. You can see I also cut that one a bit shorter than that one, but you know, it's your choice. You can have a longer skirt, you can have a shorter skirt. I've also, on this one, I've added some eyes. You can use just a marker pen to draw a little circle or do dots of paint. And there's a tiny little mouth on there, which is just a pencil. I've just drawn a little line, and I think I put some little bits of blusher. That was that same chalks I was using earlier on my finger, you know, on her cheeks. So you can see how she's looking a lot more attractive already. She does have some bits and bobs, the finished one. Let me get her looking a bit decent. Come on, lovely. You're on the telly. Well, you're not. You're on internet. That'll do. Right, there we go. So she has a skirt. What I've done for the skirt is I've just cut out 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it is. Just had to check. Pieces that are this sort of bell shape, sewn each together, and that creates. I'm going to obviously put it on her, ready to sew the back seam up. That's how that skirt is created.
What stitch are you using to sew them together?
it's the same as I did earlier. It's that over stitch. So there's a bit I haven't done there. I put the two edges together. I haven't got a needle right in my hand at the moment, but let's just grab a needle. There's no thread in it, but it will show you. So you go in from that side, come over, in from that side. Okay, so I haven't done anything, obviously.
So it's just the same as you would use maybe if you were a whip stitch, like you would use for English paper piecing.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, I like that stitch. It's quick and easy, and once you get going, you can whip through quite a lot at one time. Right, what else has she got? She's got some little boots. I'll show you her boots. Oh, that's good. It doesn't show up on that coloured mat because it's exactly the same colour. So those are her little boots. And this is actually how the piece starts life for the boots. I will get my thread out and get sewing these for you. I think I put some blue thread in, ready for sewing something blue, and now we're sewing something green. Never mind. Okay, so again, I'm going to bring that thread in.
Could you just move back towards you a little bit, because you're right at perfect.
So
you're just right under your strap, but that's perfect.
As though it would be green, was I? Right, so I put that thread in so that my knot again is in the center there. It's away from the edge, and then I'm going to put, this is actually a little dart here. Fold that over. We're going to sew a tiny little dart. It's only like 4 stitches or something, but you can see it's the over stitch again, over, and again the glasses aren't on.
You've got some comments on Facebook. I think people are enjoying the word untwazzled.
Oh, good.
You've made yourself a whole thing now.
I've got me on
Sarah
dialect.
Jane says, I think the word is untwisted, but I like untwazzled. So
yeah,
you've got your own dictionary now.
What I'm going to do now, I've done that little tiny dart. I'm not going to, take the thread off, tie it off or anything, because that's too much effort. I'm just going to go needle back through that felt, again, going right through the center of the felt, so that my needle is going through the thickness of the felt and isn't showing on the inside or the outside. And it's just a good way of moving that thread to a new location to start. And I'm going to do the other little dart now. So exactly the same, only about 4 stitches. I tend to keep one long thread on my work and just do everything with one thread, because I can't be bothered to keep getting another thread out and
you use
threading another needle with the glasses. And
could you use invisible thread? Because we had Gail on Thursday.
Yeah, you could. And invisible thread would be fine.
Yeah, she uses a lot of invisible thread, which especially if you, as you said, you're just going to thread it once and then do multiple colours. I'm wondering, is that an option if you've managed to get some?
It's a good idea. I've never actually thought to do it. Actually, I ought to give it a try and see how it goes. I tend to use just regular sewing thread. This is the stuff I'm using. It might be Gutermann, it might be somebody else, Madeira. I quite like using thread that's actually designed for machine embroidery, because it's mercerized, so it's got this shiny finish, which means it doesn't tangle.
Like the rayon stuff for machine embroidery.
Yeah, because when you're doing overstitch, you're constantly twisting that thread up, and it doesn't get as tangled as readily as a sort of a matte thread does. Okay, so now we've sewn those 2 little darts. I'm just going to squash it in half that way now. So you can see the darts there, the other darts there, and that. I'm going to needle through my felt to get to that center point at the front. So let's do that first. I'm actually going to put another stitch in because it was just coming undone a bit. Another couple of stitches and it will stop it coming undone just there. Okay, so I'm going to needle through that felt now into that center of the toe, the tip of the toe. We're going to get there. There it is. Oh, I didn't do it so well that time because I wasn't concentrating. Okay, so now when we fold that in half, our thread is ready in the correct position to sew the rest of the boot. So she's a flower fairy, so her boot is sort of supposed to be like the leaves around her feet. That's why they're kind of weird, kind of funky little shoes she's got. So I'm just sewing across the top of the toe there now. keep going. I'm not going to go all the way because yeah, it's pretty boring to watch hand sewing. Right, something got caught then, but we're not going to worry too much about it. So you can see now how that little boot is formed, and I've sewn up to about there and then stop. I've put a tiny bit of stuff in down in the toe just to hold the shape, and then I'm going to use this one, and we're going to get that knot down in there. Now, it won't go right down into her foot. What you don't want to do is undo the knot, because the first time I made one I thought, oh, that knot's a bit big, I'm going to undo the knot and shove it in. Of course, that was when her leg all untwazzled. So
See?
don't undo the knot.
You've got a thing now.
Neutral word. I like untwazzled, yeah. So now leave that little bit of Yoo-hoo glue and just glue her foot into the top of that boot like that. Okay, so that's how we do the little boot. She's got some pom-poms on there. Again, I used a little bit of the cord. I got some scraps, literally some scraps. Bound the center with some cotton. I haven't got one here to show you actually, but that was how I did it. And then it just puffed out. There's one that's actually made. You can see how the center of those scraps are just bound. I've used the same color cotton. That might be a bit small to see actually. And then when you pump it back up, you make this tiny little pom-pom to go on her shoes. Needs a bit of trimming, but you can see where I'm going with it. There you go.
And do you have, if anybody's missed any part of this today, do you have either videos on YouTube or something to guide people through if
I
they
don't
want to
have
make these?
videos as such. I've got a few. Yeah, there's a few. This is kind of, you know, part of why I wanted to, you know, join you ladies today, was because I need to get and learn how to do all this. This is
excellent crash course today.
Yeah,
Crash being the operative
workshops. I've done a few videos, but not really anything significant. Obviously, when we were, you know, back in the Hochanda days, you know, they were being filmed for them, and so there was quite a few videos done of those, which I think are still available on YouTube. But yeah, that is my next plan, is to get and film myself more regularly. Scary thought.
Brilliant. Let me have a look. So so it's just handbag and hair now.
Yeah, so I'll quickly look at her handbag. Okay, I've got a bigger one actually. I got all keen and started making things bigger so you could see them better, and then I, you know, thought, well, this is ridiculous making things bigger, but we'll go with the bigger one as I've got one. Okay, so this is the handbag shape. It's all one piece. But literally, I've gone out to my iron and just folded it and ironed the folds into it, so you can see how it goes together. So those pieces go in, that goes up like that and down like that. So there's one that I've sewn. So it's just that little seam at the bottom and the seam up the sides. Again, overstitch, exactly the same. And that makes a handbag. And I've again just used some of this cord, slightly bigger bit than my scraps I've got here, to make the handle. That's a stupidly small handle. I have got some somewhere. I don't know what I've done with it. So the handle, let's just show you on another bag. That's easier. Let's take it off her arm. Yeah, I just put it on her arm just to stop it. So when you go to shows and things, you end up losing things. So I just twist it on her arm. But you can see I've just put a piece of this cord, this macrame cord, in to make that little loop, and just sewn it in the sides. I've put a bit of stuffing in, and you could leave it so that it opens if you want. I did sew it closed again because I'm taking it to shows all the time. Yeah, you want it all to just stay where it's supposed to. Now then, her hair is a bit of fun. What you can just move those out of the way a minute. You can see at the moment that parting in her hair, it's kind of high, and what makes it look a bit more natural is to take a clump of these pieces, these strands from this side, just any sort of amount, actually we'll have all of that, and bring it over to the other side, and instantly you can see that she's got a more natural kind of look to her hair. All I did with this one, with her hair, was, you know, just take a slightly larger bit over. I'm not going to take it all because otherwise she'll have a bit of a bold patch. Just take a larger chunk. Gave it a bit of a twist and brought it forward over the top. Yeah, with a bit of time. I'm not a hairdresser, as you can probably tell. So, and then I've got that's give it a bit more twist there, and then I bound that little area there with some thread and sort of sewed it to the side of her body. So you can see how I kind of created that. I'd obviously pulled it out a little bit more because that was a bit more buffety than this one.
And then on a fine word, buffety.
Buffety, I know. I make it up as I go along, don't I?
Dictionary by the end of this.
It's a good job I'm not on countdown. I'd have all my own words. In her hair, she's got some little tiny bells because she's a bluebell. And these are really simple to make. You start with a piece that's shaped like that. We're going to just fold that in half. We're going to sew all of that edge there just over once again. And then we're going to do a gathering stitch around that top edge. So when you gather it together, you've created a tiny little bow. And those then I sewed into her hair as well. There we go.
Perfect. I know that Natasha's got one more bit that she needs to show us to get that bag finished. So what I think, if it's all right, we might do is jump back together and then just quickly grab Natasha. Oh, you're still there, everybody. I saw Sasha having a splendid sort out.
I am. Do you know, I recommend everybody. So what I actually did, well, we got like 2 sacks. So I actually, because I can't do the stairs anymore, I actually had removers in to move my craft room. All my cupboards, everything, do you know, and it was a big craft room. They did the whole lot, every bolt of fabric, every fat quarter, every thread in 2.5 hours. I was so impressed. Bearing in mind, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've got 8 Billy bookcases in here, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and I've got 6 out there full. They were amazing. And the clarity of just getting rid of stuff. It's great. It won't last. It won't last.
It won't,
all.
but for now, you feel great.
Although I have just found hate to say it, a create and craft lanyard that I've just literally thrown across the room.
I mean, we've all got one of those either stuck in the car or somewhere else that it shouldn't be.
Thrown it across the room, I tell you. So yeah.
Right. I know Natasha wants to get her bag finished off, so I'm very quickly going to switch back across to her because we're getting, I mean, if we have to overrun, we overrun. We're not kind of, you know,
I'm going to be super quick
to time, but I will make an effort to try and get it done. There you go. Right. It is all yours.
Let's be super quick then. So we're going to cut 4 pieces of fabric, 4 strips like this. And then we're going to create a 45-degree angle on the base. So we're going to measure down halfway, measure up. So it's 3 inches down, 3 inches up. And we're going to slice, same here, 1, 2, 3, into that center there. And I've got these 2 right sides together so that they are ready to sew. Okay, so when we sew them, they're going to start going like this. So I'm going to sew down this edge here. I was just looking at the time thinking, right, how much can I prep and be ready for you? So when we open this out, what you get is that straight line there. So then you can match those straight lines. You can absolutely press, and then your seams will cuddle, nest, whatever you want to call it. I quite like this friendly cuddling seam that we've got going on today. And then
there's all sorts going on today. There's I mean, Michelle's just invented a whole new dictionary for her stuff. So
I think that I like to work with my own glossary as well. I don't think there's anything wrong in that at all. Not at all. And everyone knows what you mean. And hey, didn't do Shakespeare any harm, did it?
No, I mean, I can't remember what the other one was. Oh no, Boofy and Untwazzled.
There you go. Perfect. So now, is this looking familiar to the shape that we had earlier?
Indeed it
Yeah.
is.
So that's all we need to do. So now we go again, putting these sides together. On the first one that I sew, I'm going to try and remember to leave a turning through gap, because otherwise I chat and then I forget.
And why do we do it on the first one, Natasha?
Do you what, sorry?
Why do we do it on the first one?
Because otherwise I forget.
You've got 4 chances to remember.
I chat, I get distracted. And yeah, Sasha's not the only ADHD around here. And so yeah, I just try and
we all try and do it, and we all try and put it on the first one, then forget. I'm like, oh, damn it. And then go for the second one, do exactly the same again.
And even then, you know, there's still absolutely no guarantee that I will remember.
No, because something else has come along and it's shiny.
It's exactly. It's shiny, or it's pretty, or it's glittery, or it's about to vomit on the carpet, or something. You know, it just with kids and animals, you never know.
Oh my god!
You never know.
So, Natasha, have you just seen what Sasha's just got out of a box?
Oh my god!
Right, she's talking, but nobody can hear her right now, and I will wait till we come back together so she can reveal them from the box herself.
She's a crazy one. Right, we're going to turn this through the right way. We're going to insert this into the main body of our caddy here. I tend to match the seams. You can clip. But yeah, I tend to match at the seams, and we're going to sew all the way around. Whilst I sew all the way around, can I ask your opinion, right? This is my make for my tomorrow show.
Ooh.
It's English paper pieced. Do we like it upright, or is it better a little bit squashed?
Oh, no, I think upright. Hang on, I'll go and get a committee on this. Just bear with.
If you could just, if I could have opinions, please.
Oh, okay. So the opinion required, Sasha, where are you? Down there. Is it better flat like that, or could you poof it back up, please?
Oh, hang on. I made the mistake of pressing it flat, didn't I? So of course it's not. It's a bit crumpled when it goes back up, but it can go back up.
Oh, I quite like upright.
Yeah, I think it's got a bit more to it.
Yeah, it looks really. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Michelle, up or down?
I liked it up.
There you go.
I'm going to have to re-press it up then, aren't I?
Yep.
It's pretty though, isn't it?
Do you know
Beautiful.
what though? You know those pots? There's a certain dessert that comes in the little glass pot, and nobody ever throws them away because they think they're going to be useful, and then you never use them for anything.
They're very useful.
Fitting one of those in there, especially if you've got pins and things, so they don't go right into the sides.
That's a good.
Oh, but yeah, you put ramekins in, the goo ramekins.
That's it. Goo.
Perfect.
That's it. We're not sponsored by them, but if they want to send us some pudding, we'll have it. But yeah, one
That's
of
the
those.
other thing, isn't it?
Everybody's got some of those kicking about.
Yeah. I use them for the kids when they want to paint something. Have you got something I can put water in? Yes. Because you're really going to knock over a glass. So if I just give you a little ramekin, then it's like limitation.
Also perfect for when you get a lone baby duck as well.
Okay, we're on the home straight. I've sewn all the way around the top, 1/4 of an inch, and then we are going to turn through. Okay, so
did you put your hole in? Did you remember to?
I did it first time, Hayley.
Oh, well done!
Yay!
You get a gold star as well. Sasha's got 2 for being organised and not flashing anybody.
I'm just really impressed with Sasha. We moved our warehouse a year and a half ago, and I still am surrounded by boxes honestly, it's embarrassing to let anyone near my studio because it's sort of clear where the cameras can see, and then the rest, nah.
And it was the best thing getting somebody in to do it myself, because as you will see in a minute, I get distracted really easily, and I would have ended up looking like E.T. with a tiara, a feather boa, and what I've got to show you in a minute on.
Well, that's just it. Why couldn't you walk upstairs, Sasha?
I can walk up the stairs, but I can't now do down the stairs because obviously in April I fell over after a few drinks and obliterated my ankle. And
okay.
have 12 screws in there.
What you have to show us is how's
probably not going to help the situation, but
No.
I've got one on.
Oh my gosh,
Oh wow,
you put it on.
amazing. I'm just, Hayley, just show them. I'm going to sew around this spot.
Okay, let's switch it to Sasha. Go on then, Sasha.
So, we know what I'm like. I digress. I've been looking for these for ages. Now, I've actually found them. I've actually got one on. But who else would have silver, glittery, turquoise roller skates?
They're quite something. They are
great.
quite something.
They're great.
I mean, I don't prefer a roller skate to a roller blade.
These are skates.
That's what I mean. I like a stop. I like to be able to do the stopping.
Do you know what? The vision when I bought them in lockdown was, you know, when you see these
Say
really...
no more. I think that explains everything. When I bought them in lockdown.
They are on the seafront and they're looking great, and they're walking to go with their mates and put their roller skates on. I even bought the little toe protectors and the thing that you use to actually put them on you. Now, if you can envision the look as I'm walking down the seafront, there we go.
Well, you look like an 80s commercial for
Great.
something
I
that
need
we
to
all
get
remember.
the tutu.
These things.
Yes,
Tutu, leg warmers. I'm going to be all over it. You wait.
I'm so sorry, Michelle. You've kind of come into a baptism of fire here.
It's fine. Just my daughter's got a pair very similar, and I was just mouthing to my husband, "Do you know where my daughters are?"
Yes, but this
She's
is
got
what happens.
rainbows on hers.
This is what happens when you sort out your sewing room. Why they were in the sewing room with a box of samples from Create and Craft, no idea.
Yeah, that's normal. You can't
is
believe
yeah.
what I'm seeing here at the moment.
Right, shall I just quickly hop back to Natasha because she's going to finish off her project, and I can see the cord out ready to go.
So I've top stitched all the way around. I've got my little channels poking upwards. We've got all of our pockets. They're fabulous. The one thing I did forget to do earlier was just sew around the base, but it's all in the instructions. I've sewn up my turning through gap while we were admiring the roller skate. I can't roller skate. I am quite impressed by anyone who can. And yeah, I can remember, was it a body form advert? I don't remember with
That's
Great
what we
Danes.
were saying. It was some kind of lady product, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I think I always remembered it because I love Great Danes and I have Great Danes.
You could totally get them to pull you along.
Yeah, the thought of Ruben towing me anywhere, it just no.
Using them anytime soon, apart from maybe one on the left foot only. Doesn't give quite the look.
I'm going to be really honest. I am so badly coordinated that way.
Yeah, but you've got
Christmas,
lovely long legs.
I'm
I'm sure you could be really coordinated with it.
They're long, Sasha, but I can't coordinate them.
But you were like almost an Olympian.
Yeah, I know.
But not
No,
roller.
but that took a lot of training to coordinate them. They're coordinated in that
Maybe
way. If you give me a sword, I'm good as gold.
Maybe that's all we need. We just need more training.
Is
Roller
this
skates
just
and a
like-
sword?
Could you imagine a weird night out with me and Sasha? Like, she'd be there in her rollerblades and I'd be there with a sword. I mean,
Well,
it just...
That's
If anybody's off down to Birmingham
Olympic sport.
for stitches, I'm sure we can arrange this.
it's a whole new Olympic sport. Swording, is that the word?
Fencing,
Wearing roller
fencing.
skates.
Yeah, fencing. That would do
That's
it. Swording
one.
works.
Fencing. Swording.
Yeah.
We've got a whole new dictionary now. We've got some sorting.
Bicycling.
Bicycling. We like a bit of bicycling. My top tip, by the way, with this, I use hemp, which is really rather lovely, but it frays. Oh, it's an absolute swine for fraying. So I thought maybe I could do, when you see people and they just like burn the tip of it. Don't do that because it will actually set on fire.
Yeah, because that's hemp. If you've got a poly hemp rope, then absolutely you can do that. But because that's a natural fibre, don't do it. It will set fire.
I tried and I can concur. Don't do it. Just as I was about to go to wear and set off all the fire alarms. Brilliant.
Oh, brilliant. Good work.
So on the opposite side, I've gone all the way around. Just put a little bit of sellotape on it. And then it's fine because you can't fit it into a bodkin. So just put a little bit of sellotape around. You're going to cut it off in the end anyway. I've gone all the way around one way and then I'm going to find the halfway mark. So 1, 2, 3, 4, the other side. And then I'm going to go round so that we can properly draw it up.
You know, you've put sellotape around it. Michelle earlier used a paper clip. Could you tape a paper clip on and then use that to turn it through?
But they're not, because these are really narrow channels, you can get away with just a little bit of sellotape.
Perfect.
Super easy.
Hear me, but is there a download pattern for the Caddy yet? I could only find the printed one from Jean Baker.
No.
Yes,
there is a download.
Can absolutely show them that. Well, I'll just let you finish off. Let me just switch back to.
If you click on to view all, if you put in waxed bottomed Caddy or whatever.
Even just waxed, I think I was picking it up on a search before.
What did I call it? To click it, wax space drawstring Caddy. The trick is to always click on view all, and it will show you everything. Otherwise, it will just show you
that one.
So then, get that little tag, and you can then just fold those over, and then you've got a little handle as well. But there it is. Perfect. And these are pockets all the way around. All the way around pockets.
Show, I think it was Jean who wanted to see that. So there's Natasha's website. I've just done a search, so you just click on there and it pops up a little search bar for you. I just typed in waxed, and let me just get rid of it. Ooh, there we go. So that is the printed version that comes up first. But if you just scroll down that little bit further, you see there, that one is your digital download one as well. So you've got both options on there. Who's this chap here with the waxed fabric poo bags? It looks like one, yes.
Dog Griselda.
Oh, that's a fancy name. I love it.
Which gets shortened to Grizz, which means grey anyway. So Griselda did a little bit of modelling for us in my mum's kitchen.
It just might be shame, doesn't it? Stuart.
Natasha's got a Dave, so I think we're all good. Michelle, do you want to chime in here? Any pets you'd like to announce the names?
No. I got a very well-behaved little boy in the other room who keeps passing notes under the door saying, "Oh, gosh, you're being really well behaved, staying out of my way. I can get on with it." And I got a poorly girl upstairs in bed. She got a cold.
Oh, there's a lot of that going around at the minute. I know I spoke to Debbie the other day, TV's Debbie Shaw, and she's not very well at the minute either. So she's just messaged me before there, and she said, I said, "Are you not supposed to be, taking it easy because you're not well?" She goes, "I can't speak, but I can still sew."
Yeah. I lost my voice. Yeah, I completely lost my voice for sort of last weekend. My husband was delighted.
I think there is like a coldy fluey bug doing the rounds at the minute, isn't there?
Yeah.
Are you going to go and try and find yourself? Are you just ironing it so it stays up now?
Yes. Because I ironed it flat, and now you all said you preferred it with a bit more zhuzh. So I'm just,
it's got a bit more something
ironing
to it,
in the
I think.
zhuzh.
So now you're going to have to go and try and find a pot that fits in it.
Oh, I've got pots.
You've got. You seem like a lady who would have pots.
I've got pots.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't you worry. I've got a pot for that. There will be a pot for that somewhere.
I'm imagining there's a pot for everything somewhere.
Yeah.
But anyway, I will wrap this up. We're more or less on time. I mean, we're like 5 minutes over, but I mean that's pretty good. That's pretty good for a secret sewing, if I'm honest. It's usually a lot worse than that.
Oh wow, is that our critique for the day? Usually a lot worse.
Usually a lot worse. Yeah, that's the review for today's. It's usually a lot worse.
I'll take that. That's fine.
Hey, I think it sums it up quite nicely. So, thank you everybody for joining me, and or everybody, all of our people on Facebook and YouTube for joining us as well. We'll be back next week. We have. Do you know what? I should really go and check who we've got next week. I was so focused on fixing stuff this week, I haven't even looked. I think we've got John. I think we've got Beginner's Quilt John. And let me see. I need the master plan. That's what I need. We've got a spreadsheet called the master plan, and that has everything on. If that goes down, we're all in trouble. Let me have a look. We've got John Cole Morgan. We've got White Gecko and Old Maid New as well. So some gold work. There'll be some quilty stuff. And John's probably a bit more quilty stuff, in fact. So it'll be a good quilting week next week. So thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thank you, lovely ladies, for joining in as well. And, we've got no Natasha. We've just got a.
It's like magic hands, isn't it?
Isn't it?
Remember
It's a lovely jumper, though. I must say, it's a lovely rainbow jumper.
Oh, thanks.
Magic hands.
All the colours.
All the colours, just everything. Perfect.
Everything.
Right, so we will see you all. Well, I will see you next week, and these guys